What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 275. Today, my guest is Jonathan Ramos. He's one half of the Pundejos Podcast. They're also here in Lubbock, Texas. So, just two bros talking about conspiracies and aliens and all of that. So, if you like that, this is going to be a great episode. Other than that, check out their podcast. Check this one out. If you're new to the Snake Pit, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It's free and an easy way to support us. We're also on Patreon for $1, where we post weekly conversation pit. This is some great ways to support us. And again, support the Pundejos Podcast and their network they have going on over there. Sorry, I have gas. I'm trying not to burp. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy it. And we are currently looking for sponsors for this podcast. So if you're a business and you want to promote, hit me up. We can work something out. June 22nd. Snake Pit Live, part 2, baby. You guys better be there. More to come. Let's see you guys. Hope you enjoy. Man, sound good?
Sound good to me.
You good, man?
Yeah.
Here we are on the Snake Pit. We've been talking a little bit. Why aren't people subscribing to
yes,
us, man?
Dude. Yes.
Oh, man, getting people to support is kind of hard.
It's a lot harder than I thought it'd be, man. You know, we before we started recording, I was just kind of I remember you were a guest on our show, the Pundejos, and y'all kind of talked about how you got a small group of close friends, you know, and yeah, they'll drink a beer with you, whatever. But when you need them to subscribe, it's like, come on, where y'all at? So it's all good though. I mean, it is what it is. Like I tell my buddy, we're gonna keep doing it either way, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, you know. It'd just be nice if somebody throws a little bread, but.
I always see, I don't want to sound entitled or anything, but it's that old, like that weird little Facebook shit where it's like you can tell your favorite rapper happy birthday and shout them out on Facebook, but your homies over here, you don't know, you don't say anything about
There's a lot of truth to that, man. There's a lot of truth to that.
It's like on one hand, I get it, like nobody owes me anything. I got to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the other hand, I'm like, come on now.
Takes 3 seconds.
Subscribing to the YouTube channel, which you guys should if you haven't, is free. It's a free thing to do. Man.
Yeah.
So like, if people ask me, I'm like, yeah, I got you.
Seeing like I very seldom will watch a podcast on YouTube, but because like I usually listen to them at work. You know, I'm a mail carrier, so I'm delivering, and I just got the earbuds in or whatever. So it's easier for me to hear the audio versions. But like one of the guys that's part of our generic media, he has a YouTube podcast. So I'll listen to the audio, but I actually obviously I subscribe, but I'll go and fast forward through the video so it shows he's got a view, you know, because every little bit helps, man. Every little bit counts. I don't know if that's helping them or not because I don't know how they keep track, but I'll start, you know, and then just fast forward it to the end so it shows that I've watched it.
Yeah, I don't know much about any of that,
Yeah.
and because for me, I consume actually all of the podcasts I consume is audio.
Mm-hmm.
I never go on YouTube to watch podcasts. But for me, it's like optics. Like, look at me. I have 1,000 subscribers. You can take me serious. That's why I'm like, just subscribe. I don't even care if you fucking listen or watch.
Yeah.
I just, the number.
It does help.
You know what I mean? The number looks good.
The reviews, the numbers, the subscribers, all that stuff. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, man. Tell me about your podcast. When did y'all start that?
Man, dude,
what was the idea behind all of that?
So, like yourself, you know, Eric and I, my partner on the Pundejos, we listen to all the same podcasts, you know, and we had talked about doing it for a while, man, and it was just kind of like, man, we need a shit or get off the pot already. Like, dude, like I didn't think there was so much of a scene here in Lubbock, but apparently you were doing it for a while, like even way before I thought we were like one of the first ones.
When did you start?
2020, and you were a little bit before that, right?
The year before.
Yeah, see? And so we're over here like patting ourselves on the back, like, oh man, we started this shit, you know, joking around. But no, like, you've been grinding way before that, you know.
Barely, but you gotta be careful because I was saying that too, and then
were you really?
Like, I did one in 2010, and like,
yeah,
I don't want to come off as a hater, but I'm like, why'd you stop? If you started, look where you would have been now.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
You know.
Yeah, and so I say that jokingly, like we that's one thing about Eric and I, we don't take ourselves too serious, and we're pretty self-deprecating, you know, and it's funny because I think people that listen to us, they think it's cool to steal on us now. They'll slide into our DMs making fun of us for being chubby, making fun of us for being bald, you know, and it's all for fun, but it's because we make fun of ourselves, you know, so I don't want to come across like we're.
Nah, yeah, you're
but
right.
yeah, so we had just kind of talked about, you know, doing a podcast, and Dude, our podcast was supposed to mainly be about music. Like we love hip hop. We'd be on the phone sometimes, just talking about music, and sometimes it would just turn into a good conversation. And so we're like, man, I wonder if other people would care to like listen to this shit that we're talking. And we just talked about it, and then like COVID happened. Nobody could go anywhere. You couldn't do anything, and so I told my boy Eric, I was like, hey man, when your income tax hits, let's put some money together, dude, and just buy some cheap ass podcast equipment. There's nothing else to do. This is the time to do it. And so that's when we started it, man. Like March of 2020, we bought a little cheap ass like.
Oh, you didn't? I started in October 2019, so it was barely.
We're just right behind you.
Yeah, just barely.
But you put them out, bro. You put them out.
That's what I was gonna say though. Like COVID was like, like people died. Unfortunately, people lost their jobs and livelihoods. I understand that. Yeah. But it was like the best time for me.
Thank you.
I just like.
You don't like saying that because you sound insensitive, but I've always said it was kind of a lit time, man.
It really was, because nobody was doing anything, and I didn't care about like social. I didn't care about any of that, to be completely honest. So I just had people over pretty much daily. So that's when I caught up like 100 episodes in a year. It
was kind of a dope time, man. My wife and I talk about that sometimes, like, because I don't want to sound insensitive, because you're right, man. Some people died. It was a tough time for a lot of people, but it was kind of lit for us, man. It really was.
I didn't hit my stride in this until like last year, but I really got off the ground running during COVID, and then I sort of became an alcoholic during COVID.
What else is there to do?
That's just an excuse, because I was drinking before, and I still drink now. So
blame it on COVID. It's all good.
Give a fuck, but what a weird time, man.
So we just started doing it out of my guest room at the house, and it was fun, man. It was just a reason for me and my boy to just bullshit. I mean, we have families, and it was like, hey man, we'll take 2 hours out of the week, drink some beers, drink some whiskey, and just bullshit. And if somebody wants to listen to it, cool. If not, it's an excuse to hang out. And that's how it started off, man. And we loved it. And I mean, like 4 years later, we've got a media company with like 7 other shows under us.
So you have like an official media company? Mm-hmm. How did you go about doing that?
We just had to get the fuck out of my house. We had to get out of our house because we had friends that like, they want to do a podcast.
Oh, I'm saying like legally. I know this is going to sound boring to the people.
Oh, no, man.
Like,
we ain't got, we're not.
It's just under y'all's like we don't RSS feed almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we don't have an LLC and all that good shit. That's really what we need to be doing. Like I'm like, dude, we're 4 years in and we still haven't done it.
That's what I need to do too, because I'm about to expand beyond sneak peek. Anybody listening, I'm gonna recruit somebody else. Kind of what y'all are doing. Mm-hmm. You got that, but it would be hers. Like she's not part of anything we've done. You know what I mean? Because the other podcast we've done is pretty much my friends. Right. This girl's like an outsider. So I don't want her to shoot off. And actually, I do want her to do very well. But what if she gets fucking huge and she's like, you don't get any of it?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm not saying she would do that, but
it's there to happen. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's kind of what we did, man. We had some friends that wanted to do a podcast. We rented out a studio space, and so we were like, hey, just come record. Eric and I would pretty much do everything for you. And that was it. So one turned into two. Like we've got the deep dive. Like that's my shit, dude. I love conspiracy theories.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, I love like really. So when Eric and I first started the Pundejos, I started like immediately started my own show. It was a conspiracy podcast because that's what I love to talk about, man. And yeah, Eric will get into it a little bit, but he's just kind of whatever with it, And I'm like, dude, let's get into this shit,
I had to take a step back from that.
Yeah.
Because I was so deep into it. I was like, everything's a lie.
It'll stress you out, dude.
It really did. And so I had to take a step back. Like, now I'm just like, it's entertainment now.
Life's so much easier if you just see it as entertainment, bro. I
can't believe it. But it looks too good to be true, man.
Yeah, man.
So I had to quit on that.
I get it, dude. I get it. I'm the same way, And so I started doing that, but I just didn't have the time to do it. And so we just shelved it. But now a good friend of mine took over. Like, he's taken it and ran with it, man, the deep dive. Because he does his research, he does his homework. Yeah. I was just kind of riffing, like, hey, man, Hillary Clinton body count, just talking shit. And, this dude does his research.
Let me add that to the list of things I don't talk about, by the way.
Oh, because we talked about that before?
The Hillary Clinton thing.
Bleep it
I'll
out.
never say it on my podcast. I'll never talk about them. They'll kill you.
You're not suicidal, bro. You love life. Yeah. You got appointments tomorrow. You ain't trying to do shit. Man, But, so we got that one. Then we've got the JP Lopez show. His is just kind of it's comedy mixed with he started off, he wanted to get people on to just talk about their favorite feel good memory. And then it's just branched off to I'm like, dude, it's just like men therapy. You get your boys on, and dude, I've done this podcast and I freaking cried on them, dude. Yeah, man. He'll get you vulnerable. Like,
is he a pastor or anything?
No, he's just a fucking good dude, man. He's a good listener and just a solid dude, man. And his laugh is contagious, man. And before you know it, you just letting your hair down. You're like, oh shit.
I want to get on that. Tell him I want to do it.
It's an awesome show, man. Yeah, it's dope. I bet he'd love to have you on there. But like everybody that he's had on there, they've kind of put their business, not put their business out there, but they let their hair down, so to speak, and then we've got a sports podcast, we've got a Christian podcast.
That's what's his name, right?
The sports one is Armando Lovato, and then we have just real quick, that's Kirby Ramirez. Yeah, him and Fabian Davila. They just started, and then I have my own show, and then Eric has his own show, and then his wife does one. So we're cooking.
How the fuck do y'all schedule?
It's a pain in the ass, dude.
There's 7.
Yeah.
And there's 7 days in the week.
Yep. And most people don't want to record on weekends, so it's pretty much during the week. We're all just trying to figure it out. And it works, for now. But I was like, I don't think we can take on any more. There's not enough time in the week to do it. But it works.
Pundejos. That's like your main one?
Yeah.
How many do you do a week?
We just do one a week, man. And sometimes if we have extra time, we'll do a bonus episode or whatever. But the name, I think we kind of stepped our own dick with the name because it's supposed to be pendejos, right? These dumbasses.
I told Jen that's what it was.
But so Eric and I would be out drinking with our friends, and we would just always try to one-up each other with puns. Like if somebody said a word, I'd say something, then he would, and it just that was our thing. And I was like, we'll just call it the Pundejos, and it's kind of hard because we did that. I don't know what the segment's called on the news for local businesses and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
You did that? Damn it!
There you go. I can hear you.
Yeah. You guys did that?
Yeah, but I'm laughing because I'm like, man, I snuck in a cuss word on live TV. Yeah, we're the Pendejos. And they're like, oh, that's cool name or whatever. So you know what I'm talking about though, right? It's
I see
Friends and Trends and Friends or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
They don't fuck around over here with me. I'm too controversial, I guess.
Bro, if they only knew the shit that we talk about on our show, we wouldn't have made it, dude. But yeah, it's cool. We got out there. And
dude, I did y'all. Oh, you weren't there.
Yes.
I did it 2 weeks ago, maybe.
2 or 3, yeah.
And your co-host, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. Eric.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. You gave me no context into me. We were reading lines.
Uh-huh.
I basically sound like a fucking pedophile whenever I read
that's what made it so funny, dude.
I was like, seducing a young girl. Pause.
He caught you slipping.
He did.
No heads up.
He did.
Hey, but you were a good sport, though, man. You're a good sport.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Because, think about, kudos to you, bro, because we laugh because, grown men shouldn't say kudos. But, you don't know anybody. You just showed up hey, man, I'm going to jump in. You don't really know Eric. You don't know our boy Anthony that was there. You don't even know me if I was there. And you went with it, man. You're a good sport. Got out of your comfort zone. He loves doing that shit, though, man. That's his thing. I think he's the genius behind our show because he's always thinking of, something stupid to do. And I'm along for the ride,
Yeah.
Let's just go, man. I'll do it. I'm 41, but I'm okay with acting like I'm 15 all over again. It's all good.
Yeah, I'll say doing shit like that, it makes it easier to do it week in and week out. Because I get burned out of this pretty quick.
Do you really? About
May and June, get burned out. So I could see doing that, just making it a lot more fun.
Oh, yeah. He's always thinking of something, man. Some of it's out of my comfort zone, but I'm like, shit, I'm a good sport, man. I'll roll with it, the skits and stuff. Let's do it. I'm down, man. I don't care how corny I sound. Last week we did one. He's got me he's like, sing like Scott Stapp, man. You got this. And so we did a whole skit of me behind the music, acting like Scott Stapp from Creed. It's I was addicted to alcohol and sex and shit, and just for fun, for fun. He wrote a skit, and I was like, let's do it. It keeps it interesting.
It is fun, man. I need a guy like that on my team. I feel you because what you said earlier, I do feel like I can take myself too seriously sometimes. I'm like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah, and I guess that's why it works for me and myself and Eric, because we don't, man. We're just, we can't take shit serious, man. We're the dudes at our funeral just cracking jokes, when you're not supposed to, man.
Yeah, damn. Yep. And y'all grew up together?
Man, I met him in college, really, dude. He went to Coronado, I went to Lubbock High, but after that we kind of met up at South Plains, and we just hit it off. I've known him, so I guess 20-ish years almost, give or take, something like that. I don't feel like doing math. It's been a long day. You get it. It's been a while.
Yeah, I got you. Time flies, huh? Damn.
Yeah,
it's a long time. It's almost
been
as long
a minute,
as me.
dude. Yeah, man, it's wild, right? Yeah, because I'm 41. So I met him when I was like 18, 19. But
when was the first time you heard of a podcast?
Okay, so that's a good question. So my dream job, dude, I always wanted to have a radio show. And it's because I heard a podcast. You might have been too young to remember this, but it was a syndicated show that they played on I guess like on the rap station here in Lubbock. But it was called the Playhouse. Do you remember the Playhouse radio show?
I didn't really listen to radio.
Okay.
I'm gonna lie.
So this one, man, they were based out of Portland, Oregon. And it was just like 5 friends, the radio show, just fucking around. And I was like, man, it just seems like so much fun. And they're the first show, like if I would miss it in the morning, they would rebroadcast their morning show in podcast form. And this was back like in 05 maybe.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. Like maybe 05 they were doing it. I mean, but it was just a radio show, but it was in podcast form. And I had one of them old whack-ass MP3 players.
I was about to ask, how are you consuming
it? Was like one of the, like an old-ass MP3 player, and I would just download it.
You would have to download it?
Yeah,
man.
Shit. And so that's like the first one that I had ever listened to. And then I would DJ Snake and forgot this other DJ. I was really into like DJing and shit, and they would do live or they would do podcasts, but it was like a DJ set in podcast form right around that same time. And then of course Rogan, dude, after that. He just changed the game.
How far back were you listening to him?
The first episode I ever heard of Rogan was the first time he had Charlie Murphy on there.
Damn.
Yeah. So I've been in it listening to him from almost the beginning. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
When Red Band was his co-host. Yeah. And
I hate Red Band.
His fucking Olive Garden jokes, dude.
God, I hate him.
But he would kind of just bring the show to a screeching halt sometimes with this.
Like he does Kill Tony?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. So, yeah. So is that what got you into podcasting?
Yeah. I remember, let's see. It was 6 years ago. 2018?
Mm-hmm.
So it was late. My friend was like, hey, check out this Steve-O interview. It was like right as he was coming out. I don't know. I don't know why, but it might have been his first time on Rogan. I could be wrong. But I was like, oh, shit. And then thank fucking God, my algorithm just blew up from there. There was like Henry Rollins, and then I hear about a guy named Joey Diaz. Never heard of him before. Then I hear about a guy named Tom Segura. Mm-hmm. Then I hear about a dumbass named Bert, and then Theo Vaughn. Do you know? Let me ask you this: Do you remember Theo? Do you get into podcasts? Like,
yeah, I do.
Do you remember Theogate?
Theogate?
You know what
no.
I'm talking about? I'm gullible, because there was this thing called Theogate, where people said that Christina Pachitsky's son was Theo. That was his kid.
No shit.
So there was this whole fucking.
How long ago was this?
When she had her. I think he's 5 now.
Yeah, I was going to say their kid was like 4 or 5, right?
So she was pregnant with him.
I never heard this.
And he went on the podcast. And this was their LA studio. I'm so fucking gullible. I'm over here watching deep dives, Reddit shit about how that's his kid. So that's pretty much how I got started into it. Like I was like, I didn't realize I was watching it on YouTube at that point. And I was like, this is really cool. And then I mean, Rogan's just a fucking master.
He is.
And then you find Joey Diaz, and he's the fucking master.
You can never replicate that man, dude.
So, like, even those later church, what's happening now, episodes are great. Mm-hmm. Even then. So that's when I caught it.
Yeah.
And now it's just snowballed into...
What was his co-host name? Lee Syatt. There you go.
They're still doing it.
The Flying Jew.
Yeah.
Bleep that out if you want.
No, you're good. Yeah. That's what he calls him.
Yeah, he does call him that. Yeah.
They do the catch-up. No, what is it called? I don't know. They do a new one. Mm-hmm. Do you listen to it?
No, I haven't. I haven't listened to it since he moved to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really how I started. Obviously with Rogan, and now I'm learning. Mm-hmm. There was like Mark Maron. I never got into that dude. And Tom Green. They were doing it way back.
They were doing it way before, yeah.
I think he said like 05, right around then.
That's wild. Yeah, it's right about the same
Yeah,
time.
but it's just snowballed, and I'm glad I caught it when I did, because now everybody's doing it.
Dude, I remember I'm pretty gullible too, bro. Trust me. I just got trolled, man, on our last episode. They were making fun of me because I was like, dude, you see that new trailer for the Popeye movie? It's got Conor McGregor as Popeye. And Eric's like, dude, fuck no, that's not real. I'm like, dude, it said official trailer. I saw it on my Google homepage.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, dude, I'm telling you, because Eric's into that shit. Like he's a dude that's into like wrestling, anything movies. That's his shit, you know. And he's like, I'm telling you, and I was ready to die on that hill. I saw the trailer, and he goes, that's fake. And sure enough, man, because I watched it while I was driving, so I'm kind of glancing at my phone and look at the road, and then I pulled it up live on the show, and I'm like, God damn, dude, I got trolled. Yep, it was AI, and like it was like a fan made one where they just mixed in scenes from like different movies and made it. So I get it, dude. I'm pretty gullible too when it comes to that stuff.
I'll tell you which one was spooky. I saw one. I knew it was fake, but because it resurfaced. But when it came out, it was really spooky. It was Biden announcing there was going to be a draft for the military. I was like, because the first time I saw it, I was like, this can't be real. This can't be fucking real, man.
Bro, though, as good as the AI is now, how do you know what's real and what's not?
This is what's going to get interesting.
Yeah, man.
I just got ChatGPT. You ever fucking around with that?
Nah, I'll mess around. Like, I've downloaded some like AI apps on the phone, but like not ChatGPT.
Let's talk about AI.
Let's do that.
I learned about this from Rogan, I think. There's a new software where it can translate your podcast into any language. Now, that's fucking cool.
That is pretty dope.
So now I can put out a Spanish or whatever.
Does it pick up slang, though?
I don't know.
That's the one thing I'm kind of...
I don't mean...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because and the only reason I bring that up, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but my buddy Eric and I were talking about that new Drake diss, you know? And I'm like, dude, I keep hearing people say it's AI. He goes, no, because AI can't say SZA. He goes, so it, like little words, little things like that, AI would just read it how it's pronounced or how it's spelled. And so that's how he kind of debunked it.
Bro, I seen an AI video. Sorry, guys. Straight up dropped the N-bomb. I was like, God damn. Really? I was even appalled. I was like... can I tell you what I seen today? I saw two things, because I'm on Twitter. I grew up on Twitter. I love it. Mm-hmm. I saw two videos. This is the dichotomy of Twitter for you folks out there who aren't on it. One was this guy adopting his stepdaughter. It was a video of that. So I started crying watching that. It was a good video. I literally scrolled to the next tweet. It was a guy getting his head cut off.
From one extreme to the next.
I was like, whoa.
You're like that meme of Spider-Man where he's kind of like laughing and crying at the same time looking at shit. Yeah. It's just so extreme.
Well, that was my point. So, like, I'm not really, like, shocked by anything, but hearing AI say the N-word was like, oh.
What the hell?
I thought that this was woke. I didn't know it says
it's
these
tricky,
words.
bro. It's getting tricky, man.
But the idea of, like, it being able to, like, translate your podcast into other languages, that's cool. Mm-hmm. And then, like, with this new shit that they're talking about, like I'm doing, like, movie production, like, that sort of shit, I'm all for that because I want to do shit like that.
Yeah,
like, what if I want to do an animation, like a cartoon, and I can just do it with AI?
Dude, I was listening to an episode of, I think it was Broken Simulation with Sam Tripoli. And
that dude's crazy, by the way.
Yeah, I love that dude, man. He's my kind of crazy.
Have you heard about his pronouns?
No.
It's RN. What do you know? You can feel what RN means. Yeah, that's what he said that on stage.
No shit.
Yeah, he just said it.
He just don't give a fuck anymore.
It's crazy.
But they were doing they had plugged in into ChatGPT, like they were doing like a Game of Thrones reboot. He was like this comedian that was like hung like a horse, and then his co-host, like they just put in whatever their characteristics were, and it wrote a whole script, and it was like pretty funny. It was pretty good, dude.
I didn't even think about that. I just bought it, so.
You have to pay for this shit. It's not for the good version.
It's $6 a week.
It'd be worth it if you get your money worth out of it.
So, like, my girlfriend, she's into hair. She does hair, and they do like color formulas for like. It's like that's like an NDA for her. Like it's specific for their brand. Mm-hmm. She was like, "Well, ask it what's the formula for gray hair, silver hair." He got it.
Okay, so check. Now that you say that, I've been wondering this for a while. If ChatGPT has all the answers to everything, right? Why can't you just find the cure for cancer? Based on facts. Like just say you get into your program, however it works. I'm not too familiar. I know what it is, but I don't know how it functions. Give me the cure for cancer based on science. Right? It should be that easy.
There was a guy who's explained this, that once singularity hits, then it'll be able to like, because again, I'm just a fucking idiot explaining this.
I just repeat shit that smart people say.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, same.
So it's like it takes hundreds of thousands of trials to get basically a vaccine that'll cure cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's years of processing. Eventually, when it has enough computing power, that's a problem too. It'll be able to do it in minutes. We're talking years of science, years and years of trial. It won't even have to do human trials. It just get it down.
It just has it right. Yeah.
So I think the problem is like computing and then not having the answer. I don't think it has the answer because it's a human program. So it's like it only can search what we've known.
So let's say you got onto the program and said, based on research done by Dr. Sebi, you know,
that guy.
You know what I'm saying? Based on what he's put out there, can you give me a cure for cancer?
Well, you know,
you're gonna get a knock on your door.
It'll say like, I'm only programmed to do this much, because I asked it. I was like,
pretty convenient.
Well, you know what? Because I was pissing TMI here. My pee was really yellow, and I asked it like, why is my pee really yellow? And it said, I'm no doctor, but here are some things that.
Oh, that's pretty convenient.
It's like he was like, I think it started by saying, I'm no doctor. You should see a doctor, but here's the reasons it could be.
It's just one of those things, you know, because like we're not allowed to give medical advice.
Yeah, it's just a faster Google, which I like.
Yeah.
Because you can add, like, if my roadcaster broke, I'm like, well, how do I fix it? Mm-hmm. I look at it like that.
Dude, that's a well spent $6 a month.
Yeah. And then like it creates images, not very well.
They doesn't get the hands right.
There's other programs. Another one I was going to talk to you about was, do you listen to Andrew Schultz?
Yeah.
So on his Patreon, they were trying out the software that creates music. And it is fucking good.
That's badass.
It is good. Like, they basically gave it a prompt to like talk about this in 90s grunge or 80s rock.
That's dope. Yeah, so that's pretty dope.
This just reminded me, because we do on our Patreon, we do music. I'm going to create a song for it. Just thought about that.
That's not a bad idea.
But yeah, dude, I was like, I myself am trying to be a musician.
Yeah.
And that's still fucking cool. None of this, like, it doesn't really scare me. None of it. It's because I think like for you have kids, right? Maybe their kids, like when they're born into it and don't know what the human touch is. Right. Maybe then it'll be weird, but for us, it's like, no.
Because we've got experienced both sides of it.
If it wrote a script and like, have you heard it do comedy? Like, you know, that's like, you can tell. It's not a human.
The timing's off, the punt, yeah.
But where it's at now, though, compared to where it'll be.
It's crazy, man. It's getting, and so I don't know how far down the conspiracy rabbit hole you want to go, or if you want to get in there yet. But I was just kind of talking about that with my buddy, because I was I'm just going to run this by you. You can go with it or not. But are you familiar with like frazzle drip? You ever heard of that?
What is this?
Okay, dude. So you might want to cut this out. It's up to you. So
it's up to you.
I don't give a shit. Okay. Yeah. So Anthony Weiner, right? You familiar with that guy?
I just heard about this dude.
No shit?
Yeah.
So you're kind of familiar with him, right?
Yeah.
So this dude got arrested because he was doing like some chomo shit. Yes. And his wife was Huma Abedin, who's like Hillary Clinton's, like, you can bleep that name out. Her, like, they're like this, right? She was part of her Christ. Like she was part of her like campaign where they're tight. So this dude gets arrested. His laptop gets confiscated. There's a file on his laptop that's labeled, and this might just all be conspiracy theory. We'll just say it is for
allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. Allegedly. Thank you. And it was labeled life insurance. And so apparently the word around the water cooler is that what was in that file was a gnarly video of his wife and Hillary Clinton doing some gnarly satanic shit to some kids. And so it gets pretty dark, man. I won't go into detail, but look that shit up on Reddit, dude.
I heard about this Wiener fella.
Yeah.
And he's doing podcasts. And they'll bring up what he did. And he's like, whatever.
Yeah, man. And it's like, and I was talking to my buddy. I was like, this dude, he's just out in the open walking. I was like, all willy-nilly, man. Yeah. Like, he's not in jail, none of this shit. And it makes me wonder, like, what did he really have on that laptop?
You know, man, I've been thinking about this a lot. Because, again, I went too deep. But I'll tell you what. I've been watching a lot of religious horror movies. It's weird. Because so there's like...
Religious horror movies?
Yeah, so there is this...
You got my attention.
So there's been this... where was I going with it? So there's been this satanic theme in my life recently because I've been watching a lot of it. And, you know, you hear about that with the elites and the, I mean, I don't really think, you know what I think it is, before I get into the satanic shit, what I think it is the truth is boring. The truth is boring. And I think that the elites, the 1%, the ruling class, whatever you want to call it, deep state,
right,
they just want to maintain their power. So I don't know if they're this evil cabal.
It's not as sexy as this.
It's not. I don't really
shit that I'm talking about.
I really don't. So we'll get into that. But
yeah.
I don't. Speaking of conspiracy, I don't know, man. You would do whatever you needed to do to protect your job and
Makes
your
sense.
people. They're doing that on a grand scale. That does involve killing people. They do kill people and maintain order.
People with less power kill people.
Yeah.
Look at gangs and, you know.
So I don't. It's scary that they have. What's scary to me, I'll say this, is that they're good at feeding us bullshit for us to not pay attention to the things that they're doing. That's what scares me.
I get it.
I don't know if it's fucking what's his name, the goat dude.
Oh, the Baphomet.
Ruling. Maybe he is. It may just be the Clintons. Like we need to maintain our power. These people are disrupting our power. Kill them because we have the ability to kill them.
But that's not as sexy as reptilian people, bro.
And then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pay these protesters to go out in all these cities and cause all this shit and get all these people riled up while we're doing this over here. So
Yeah.
I think it's that simple.
That always crosses my mind too.
It's
Though when you
like-
see all this stuff like clogging up the news feed, you're like, what's really going on behind the scenes?
I think
that,
somebody
you
told
know?
Wiener that it's like the news is just fucking bullshit to get people upset. That's all it is.
Well, dude, I remember back when YouTube was in its prime, you know, like in, I don't know, like 2010, like right around that time, it was badass. Like
Yeah.
YouTube was the shit
It
back
was
then.
raw, man.
Yeah, it was, right? And then I remember I want to say it was like when Obama was president, he passed a bill called the Smith-Mundt Act, which allowed like propaganda to be used against the American people. It used to not be like that. It used to be able to like, you could only use propaganda against other countries or whatever that you're, you know, at war with or whatever. But now they're using that shit on their own people. And it just turned right around that time. And you could see it.
It's just, that's what's so disappointing about it. Just, they're not even American. They are, but they're not. They're
Right.
just transnationalist people who just want money and power.
It's like they're more classist than anything. They're about class and
yeah,
wealth.
that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And they do evil, despicable shit. That's not to say though that they could be praying
really
to a
could be.
fucking owl god or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
man.
So we watched the first Omen on Friday, and can I spoil it for you?
I've seen it.
The
Oh, you
first
mean the newer
The
one?
first one. That's what it is. Yeah, it just came out.
No, I mean you can spoil it for me. I'll watch it either way.
So you know Damien. He is a product of his. What happens is the Catholic Church is losing power, and they realize it. So there's this small sect of Catholic people, bishops, priests, nuns. They lock up. They call it the beast. They have it locked up underneath the Vatican.
I hear that's true.
So they're using him. I guess he's the devil in this to impregnate women, so that they can birth the Antichrist. So they can control it. The Antichrist, the church can, so people will come back to the church. That's what their idea is. The problem was that these women were giving birth to deformed babies and women. Damien was the first male. They needed a male. So that's what the movie's about. Now I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Like that.
I'm afraid there might be too much truth to that, dude. And that's because I'm Catholic. I'm Catholic,
I
bro.
am too. And I'm like, well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like if you can control, in a sense, the devil, you can make people come back to God.
Bro, I think there's so much information in the Vatican, bro, that it's
I've never got
hidden from
into
us.
that, but
Yeah,
I've heard
dude.
like
There's like 50 miles worth of library beneath the Vatican.
So I just learned this, and this will have something to do with. I don't know if this is true, allegedly, that Lent is because the reason you're not supposed to eat meat during Lent is because way back when a pope owned a fish market, and he said you can only eat fish because he owned
Nice
it.
hustle.
So he needed to make money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, then maybe I truly believe Jesus Christ is real, and He's our Lord and Savior. But
yeah, I agree.
All this other shit, I don't know. It's
So,
just power.
So I feel like you and I are on the same wavelength with that, man. Because like I'm a lifelong Catholic, and like I recently, I would say like the past probably like 2-3 years ago, my wife, she goes to Trinity, and so we would just go back and forth, and like my mom's diehard Catholic, and that's cool if that works for her, cool, like whatever. But like she'll if I go to Trinity and don't go to Catholic, she'll be like, mijo, you still need to go to church. That doesn't count. You know what I mean? Man. But I'm like, you know what, man? I researched so much shit. The more and more I'm like starting to realize, man, I think we got okey doked.
It's just it's an institution run by humans.
Yeah, man. There's an old. Do you know who Art Bell is?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an old interview. Yes, Coast to Coast AM from back in the '90s.
Girlfriend loved that show.
Dude, it's dope, man. And so there's an interview with him and this guy. He was like I don't think he was a pope, but he was like the right hand man to a pope, or like maybe multiple popes, named Father Malachi Martin. And he's on Art Bell on the Coast to Coast, and he's talking about a bunch of gnarly shit that's been going on, you know, with he was just kind of saying that the Vatican got infiltrated by like Freemasons, and that's like a lot of these pedos and stuff. They're trying to take down the Catholic Church from within. They're being placed there for a reason.
Some people say that Pope Francis they call it a Black Knight. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what that is, but that's what they say he is. Yeah. He's the Black Knight.
He's a Jesuit. He's the first Jesuit pope.
Yeah,
man.
So
it's interesting.
He's part of a group that was like, he's almost like this Antichrist figure. He's supposed to be this savior, this good guy, but deep down he's like, fuck all this.
But it's like you said earlier, like sometimes you just got to come up for air, man. It's just so overwhelming.
It is, man. I love it. God damn it. I love it sometimes, but it is like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. It's like, what? But I mean, again, I hate to just like say it like that, but I think the church, it's a power struggle, and unfortunately there's predators and prey, and predators go after weak people. Mm-hmm. And where was the best place to do it? Where's the best place to diddle kids?
Unfortunately,
being a priest.
Yeah, man.
So that's my only issue with like going to church and giving money to the churches. They cover up that shit.
Right.
I can't give my money to that.
I agree, man.
I still believe in that. I want to have a fucking Catholic priest on here and talk to him about it, but I don't know if they will.
I mean,
who knows?
I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, but then again, like, dude, unfortunately, there's like politics involved with it, man.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
they won't allow it. I don't think. Well, I don't know, man, because I want to go to the Vatican, see what's up over there. I mean, it's old. Who knows what?
Yeah.
And it's like rooted in shit that's like older than that. You know, like pagan shit.
Exactly, yeah.
Like
dude.
it's.
I'd like to take a tour, like that somebody that knows their shit. Like you hear Rogan talking about, he took a tour and that dude's explaining like the pine cones and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. You ever do any of that?
Man, I don't have the balls to do it, man.
Either. I'm scared.
I want to, but I'm just like, life's hard enough as it is, man. Like I don't need to add bullshit to it. But like I've seen. You ever see that movie Enter the Void?
Mm-mm.
So it's like a real artsy type movie by this guy named Gaspar Noir. And he's I guess you could call him controversial, but like he's got a certain style of making movies. There's a movie called Enter the Void he did, and it's supposed to be the best depiction of what it's like to be on DMT. And it's shot pretty tripped out, man. So the beginning of the movie, like I'm not gonna ruin it, but I mean, it's this dude in I think like Thailand. You see him hitting the DMT, but the movie's shot through his eyes, so you can see him blink and everything. And then the rest of the movie, he's hovering over his body because he dies. But it's the beginning of the movie. I'm not ruining shit. But it's pretty dope, man. And it shows like what it's supposed to look like to be on a real DMT trip.
Did you listen to that Neil Brennan episode on Rogan?
Not yet, no.
He talks about his DMT trip, and he fucking felt it for 18 months.
See, man, like, no thanks.
And man. I know a guy, I'm going to be honest, I know a guy who smoked it and was never the same.
Really?
Yeah, he went total fucking sideways.
We heard about like Ari Shaffir when he did it wasn't DMT, but it was something else, and he had like a full blown life, and it was like for 15 minutes, but he felt like he was there for months on end.
Yeah, man, I remember. I can't remember what drug it was, but
I'm good, man.
I never delved into that, but
if you're gonna do it before you have a family and kids. That's what I'm afraid of, because like I've got a 7-year-old and a wife. I can't be doing stupid shit.
That's
and then,
true.
You know what I mean?
The only thing I want to do is, because I've heard this is a good idea, is MDMA with my girlfriend, like once a year.
I've done it one time, bro, and it was awesome.
They say like if you do it with your girlfriend or your wife, some people do it with their wives of like 20 years, once a year, and it helps them.
I could see
stay together and whatever.
Yeah, I could see that.
If you fall in love, I don't know. I've never done it.
It's cool, man. I don't want to sound like a commercial for it, but so back in the day, man, there was a club here called Graham Central Station. You remember that?
No.
Dude, I don't even remember where it was at. It was just kind of way out, like out towards like Wolford, maybe it's from. I don't know, man, but I remember my buddy and I, we tried it, and you're supposed to do it. You're gonna go hook up with girls, whatever. Nah, we went to the club, and they had big pillars in the club with speakers on it, and so I'm just leaning against that shit, and I'm just like, it's like, it sounds cliche, but I could see the sounds. It was dope, bro. It was dope, and I was like, man, I can't do this again. I liked it too much.
It sounds fun.
It was cool. So that's I can see that.
Interesting. But that's the only one I have any interest. Maybe mushrooms, but I'm not there mentally.
Yeah, I get it.
No way.
I'm good, man.
I'm too fragile.
I don't even mess with weed, man. I love the way it smells. Believe it or not, I love the way weed smells. It's just not for me. Like drinking beer is about as extreme as I get, man. As extreme as I get, dude.
Yeah, man. I don't know, because I get real introspective without drugs about like the universe and aliens, God, all that shit, and just wonder like,
what do you think about aliens?
I want to believe in them. I really do.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's too big of a universe. You know, I recently just re-listened to Bob Lazar's episode on Rogan and what he was talking about. I was like,
what's your take on that, dude?
I don't know.
I think he believes what he believes it's true.
Yeah, but also whoever put him in that job, they're not dumb, so they probably give him some bullshit just to.
They knew he was a little chatty Cathy.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like, here's 20% of the truth. The rest is all bullshit.
Yep.
That spacecraft is real, but where we got it, it's none of your fucking business.
Right, dude.
So I mean, I don't know. I just hope it's. For one, I wish they were real. That'd be cool. For two, if we do have the tech, I hope we have it, not China or Russia.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
That'd be spooky. But I don't know. It seems.
I go back and forth on it.
It's a lot of bullshit on the internet. So who knows?
Right. I was like kind of waiting for like the okie doke, man, when all these disclosures were coming out, you know, and then like there's sightings for a little while, man. Like they were every other day you're seeing a sighting somewhere, you know, on like TikTok or Instagram. They're all over the place, and I'm like, all right, man, what are y'all trying to do? Like, what's going on? Why is there like a soft exposure or disclosure all of a sudden? Nothing came out of it. You know?
Russia didn't invade fully of Ukraine. We couldn't use that tech.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You know what's so fucking crazy is last year when we did the live podcast, I was setting up, and my dumbass was on my phone, and my two people that were helping me set up saw a fucking sphere.
I know where you're.
Have you seen that video?
I saw it was an artist, dude, that I follow on Instagram.
Yes,
he's
my
an
boy
artist.
DC Art.
I follow him, and I follow him because I saw that video.
So I was there.
You were there live when that happened.
Right next to him when he was recording that. I just didn't look up. He tagged me in that video, but I got all fucking paranoid, so I was like, untag me, dude.
No shit, dude?
Yeah, because I was right there, and other videos came out of it, like, around this area, and I was like, the fuck
There's
is that?
something going on, man.
Is this a, like, sphere? There's a really eerie one of it over Midland, and it's just standing there. It's not moving. That's the creepy one, because the one we saw was moving. We couldn't see it no more, but there's one over Midland that's, like, it was that same day.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. Really? But it was just in Midland, and it was just standing there. It didn't move.
But it's like, man, dude, I just don't know what to trust anymore, man. You know, like
I would say that, but we saw it with our own eyes.
No, I'm just saying, like, I know that there was something there, but it's like, is it the military? You know, is it the military fucking around trying to get a rise out of people?
I think there's nukes under somewhere around here. I believe it.
Really?
There's an old facility in Amarillo. They do something, but I think there's live nukes around here.
So
that's what I believe.
Because I co-host that deep dive. I'm his co-host, you know, and he had did an episode. He was talking about I don't know where this fool gets his information from, him, but he was talking about how like they call Lubbock like the Panhandle, and he was saying like underground there's a shitload of tunnels underground Lubbock, and he's like, I think there's something going on that we don't know about, but like he had a aerial view of the area, but like what it showed like underground, and it looks like
dude, I need to tell this guy, dude. There's I've heard about it under Quaker.
Really?
A big underground under Quaker. I don't have the balls to go under there, but I've heard that there's big tunnel under Quaker.
No shit.
That's what I've heard. I don't remember who told me that.
I mean, that map he showed. I was like, dude, what the hell?
I believe it.
Yeah, I do too.
There's a big underground system under tech, so who knows?
Yeah, somebody else brought that
There's like
up
a whole
on
city under tech, so.
That's wild, man. Like, and if you know the ins and outs of that spot, shit,
You know,
it's your playground, man.
You know what's so crazy? It's probably a tunnel, but nothing under there but like
That'd be all boring. It's all boring.
Fucking homeless people.
It's not fun though, dude. Like conspiracies, they're sexy, man. I love a conspiracy because
I don't know, man. Somebody said, I think I brought this up, and they said they used it to transport prisoners from the prison to the whorehouse.
I could see that. But
Who knows what else? But I whenever that UFO incident happened, I think it was last year, I got into it, and I think there's something underneath the ground from here to Amarillo.
Yeah,
Something.
Dude,
I think there's something, because there's no way. Why the fuck would they waste their time flying over this area?
And
even if it's our military.
It gets a lot of action, man. There's a lot of action over here. There's a dude that I forgot his like Monkey Works. You ever heard of that guy? And he's just a nerd, man, that just keeps track of different flights and flight patterns, and he keeps track of stuff like that, like stuff that just out of the ordinary. And I don't know if it's the same person, but that dude Donnie Flamingo was showing me that on the day of the eclipse that there was that big ass mass in Antarctica. Did you see that?
I was about to bring that up. Yeah,
that's wild.
That was weird.
What was that?
Here's another thing I was thinking about. Like, if they can get here, they're being seen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they don't want to be detected, they're not going to be detected.
Yeah, they've got that kind of technique.
Like, go back and listen to Bob Lazar's. He explains how, like, if you stand it, he saw it being lifted they were testing it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to get it above ground flying. And if you go underneath it, you can't see because of the way it bends gravity and light. It just looks like there's nothing underneath.
That makes my brain hurt, dude.
So
that makes my brain hurt. It's so.
So I mean, the fact that like we see things makes me believe it's ours,
mm-hmm.
and hopefully it's ours. You know,
dude. I listened to this podcast called. You ever heard of the Confessionals?
Uh-huh.
It's dope. You like it? It's So he had a guy on it that was like in the military, and he was talking about they were on like some secret mission, like way out in the middle of nowhere, dude, and that they were with scientists. It was like his crew of soldiers and like some scientists. He's like, what the fuck are these scientists doing with this? But they're just going and they find a crashed UFO, you know. But he's like, it came from the sky because there wasn't any trees where like it had a crash landing. It just came from the top to the like just straight down. And he's like, he's trying to. It's like almost like hieroglyphs written on the inside of this thing, and he's trying to figure out the language. And the scientist is like, you're not gonna understand it. He goes, it's a different language. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, it's Enochian language. And so that dude's like, okay, you know, what does that mean? So he went and started looking into it. And it's like a language of like fallen angels.
Yep, I've heard of this. So somebody went. I hate bringing up Rogan, but somebody went on there and talked about. So when she believes when they find these crafts like this,
mm-hmm.
they're donations. That's what they call them. That they give it to us. It's
really?
Like, here, see what you can do with it. And she was there with a scientist as well, and
mm-hmm.
she said something about like good versus evil
mm-hmm.
with these things, and he was like, "No, there's angels and fallen angels." That's what he said.
Okay, so you had brought it up a little bit earlier, and I know like on one of your past episodes you were talking about. It was the guy I mentioned his name earlier, the comedian.
Ricky.
There you go. And you were just kind of saying what you had mentioned a while. You're like, man, I don't think there's just this group of people.
Truth is boring.
But, okay, so I think, and this is going to be like, dude, you got to put your tinfoil hat on.
Let's go.
I feel like, so if you go to the Bible, Lucifer came down from heaven. You know, he used to be an angel. And he brought 200 of the angels down to earth with him, right? The fallen angels. So if you read the book of Enoch, it talks about how all of these fallen angels had, like the main ones, they all had duties. They were all like, some of them they taught how to like do makeup. They taught how to do weaponry. They taught how to do, like all of them had certain skills. And so I feel like when you follow these bloodlines up to current day, people running the world might be like descendants from these bloodlines. That's what I think. Like when you hear like David Icke talk about like, oh, they're reptilians and stuff. Like, I think it's a stretch to say, but maybe they're just not 100% human. Maybe they're just descendants of these, you know, these bloodlines.
It could be.
That's kind of what I think, man. And I think that they have forbidden knowledge, that it's not for us regular people.
But what is like forbidden knowledge? I don't understand that. Like, what does that mean?
Just shit like UFO shit, you know, like technology that we're not like, you know, they know who built the pyramids. They have the technology to do certain things that we're not capable of doing.
I mean, I guess why wouldn't they let us have it?
Because then we're equal to them.
But here's where I get a little, because I think about it like the end of the world. Why would the elites allow that to happen? If they're running this, like let's say that these bloodlines are running everything, why would they let us kill each other and destroy the planet? Like if they want workers,
they need workers.
If they want to fucking keep living a good life on a planet that's, I mean, shit's good for me and you here.
Right.
It's probably way better for them.
Yeah. No.
Why would they want a nuclear war or global warming? I don't know if I believe in that. No, I'm just kidding. I do. But like,
I don't know. It's pretty fucking hot today, dude.
Like, yeah, of course. But like, why wouldn't they like just make life better? I don't know.
I think they like to have us under their thumb.
Yeah, but you could still do that if you showed us this technology. Like, that's where it would get weird. That's where it would get weird for me. It's like, you can't live in this world unless you bow to me and do as I say.
That's where it's supposed to go.
Because right now, it's not that way for me anyways.
Right.
That's, let's turn it a little bit. That's what spooks me out about, like, I say real shit, like social credit scores, 15-minute cities, these vaccine passports. That's what spooks me out about that.
Me too, yeah.
Because
same.
it's not like, it's like, we're not going to make you, but you can't open up a bank account.
Life's going to suck without
You can't own a home.
Yeah, man.
You can't buy food. You can't drive when these things start getting into there, and that's what spooks me out of.
That's so scary, dude.
That's that seems more plausible than aliens coming down.
I'm with you on that. 100%.
Or the reptilians, but
you can kind of see the writing on the wall, man. They're working in that direction.
It's already happening in China.
Yeah,
it's already there.
Yeah.
They say it's a testing ground for what's to come for Western civilization. And you know what even fucking scared me is because I follow this conspiracy podcast called War Mode. Shout out to them.
What's it called?
War Mode.
I'll have to check it out.
They had a girl on. She was like, what's the worst part is, how do you, in America, you know who you have to appease in America? The gun owners. They own the guns.
Yeah.
How do you appease them? Well, let's make America really, really fucked up with crime. All these immigrants coming in.
Yeah.
Let's make America a shithole.
You can see it, man. Yeah.
And we'll start putting in these things that cleans it up. So the people with the guns applaud to their own downfall.
It's problem, reaction, solution.
They're going to be...
Yeah.
When she said that, it's kind of like in Star Wars. Applauding their own downfall. That's that literally gave me chills when I heard that. It's like, these fucking dumb Americans. My brothers, I love you guys. You know me, I'm a red-blooded American. I might lean right a little bit. You're going to applaud pretty much the coming of the end of the world.
Dude, there's an old interview. Have you ever heard of I want to say it's something. It's a Russian dude, Yuri Zebmanov.
Yeah, I've heard it.
He's talking to G. Edward Griffin, and he's giving us the blueprint of everything that they're trying, man. And
done mighty. Yeah, why would China face us in a hot war when they can just do this to us? Let us destroy ourselves and implement everything that we. That's what scares me, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna live my life, and I love life, and I'm
right. You got to move on with life.
I love the good Lord, and I want to have a family and kids and all that. But I get into these fights with people that don't understand. I think maybe you do because you talk on a podcast freely. That's what scares me. Like, what if I can't? What if I get on this and say something, and they're like, "I'm gonna shoot you because you said that." Dude.
I guess I've never thought of it that way.
There's a little bit more freedom. I mean, that's not to say if you didn't gain power that they wouldn't come knocking at your door. But right now, you could say, fuck Biden, fuck Trump. You're not going to get shot. You're not going to go to jail.
We have the luxury of flying under the radar right now.
That's what scares me. But if you have a bigger platform. I hate to be a wimp about it, but that's what scares me, man.
I get it.
That's why I'm like, please, aliens, come. Save us. Save us from this bullshit.
So the Illuminati comes knocking at your door, bro. You've got a podcast. You've got some people under you. You can entertain it? No? I
can't. I know. You know what's even fun? Again, I keep saying this. Is they probably do it in a way that you don't even realize it. That's what's so fucked up about it.
I'm kind of like, I would do it up to a certain point just because I want to be nosy. I want to know what it consists of. But the one thing I'm not ever willing to do is like compromise my soul or my whole. You know,
You ain't, I'm definitely
my
not,
faith. You know,
I'm not going to be
my Christian faith.
fucking P. Diddy in here, but
yeah, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious, man. Like I'm just always curious about. Did you see that there was a video of, I forgot the guy's name, but it went pretty viral. He was I guess like a YouTuber, and he was talking about how him and his friend came from a smaller city to Los Angeles, and they were invited to a Illuminati party. Did you see that video? It was kind of making its rounds, and I was like, man, that'd be kind of dope. I'd like to go and check it out.
See, that's how they compromise you.
Exactly.
This is how they get you, because you have sex with a woman, she's underage. Now you do.
Yes.
Now you do what they say. You do a drug, you don't know what you're gonna do.
You
after
wake up
that.
and
and they got video of you sucking dick. They got you.
That's how it goes.
Or
yeah.
God forbid, you see something happen and they're like, well, why didn't you say nothing?
And that's what he says on the video. He goes, I saw where it was going and I left, is what he said. I was kind of like poking in through the window, and he saw some shit go down. I don't know how true the story is, but I get it. Dude, that's what all this stuff
Epstein
is, man.
was doing that.
That's Diddy. I feel like Diddy's doing the same shit. The Playboy Mansion, bro. Think about the Playboy Mansion, man. So
I'd like to believe all those girls were of age and willing.
True. Yeah, because I had them in magazines and stuff. But like, I feel like the Playboy Mansion was the Epstein like honeypot operation that everybody saw but didn't realize that's what's going on. Because think about back in the day, let's say you're a politician. Back then, dude, it was kind of frowned on, like to be gay or to be cheating on your wife, right? But you're doing it at the Playboy Mansion. You know, they everything's bugged, so you got all these stars doing stuff. So, hey man, you need to pass this bill. Well, nah. Well, we got you on video with this dude over here in the room or with this chick. And I think that was like the beginning stages of it. But now, like, it's not a big deal to be gay anymore. It's not a big deal to cheat on your wife. Now you got to do the child predator stuff, like with Epstein. That's like the unspeakable, you know? So I think they just kind of upped the ante with all these other things. And
have you heard of Dr. Shiva?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he did the War Mode podcast. He said his whole podcast was about the not so obvious people, not these guys that you're talking about, because those exist. It's the not so obvious.
Like, what does he mean? Like,
he called Rogan one of them. Like people like that, like,
dude,
like the ones that are below the radar, not the Kennedys, not the Clintons, but the people a little bit below that compromise people because they're a little bit under, they're not so obvious. I don't remember exactly the examples.
I'm gonna move my chair a little. I don't want to make too much noise.
You're good.
I got a little belly in between. So I've kind of got a little theory, man, and I'm a Rogan fan, but I've got a theory on him, dude. I feel like when you get to that level, like, he's huge, the hugest.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point he got that tap on the shoulder.
I don't know. I want to believe he's
me
not
too, man.
compromisable.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I actually do believe it because of the people he's had on his podcast.
True.
That have spoken about things that like nobody speaks about.
So check this out. The only reason I say that is because going back to that podcast I was telling you about, the confessionals, this dude's got a pretty good size.
What's this guy's name?
Something Merkel. He has Merkel Media. I forgot his name, but it's a dope podcast. But so that podcast, the episode I was telling you about where you had that guy on there with the UFO or whatever, that blew up, right? And so this dude's talking about, the host on this show is talking about how he got under like the right ears and the right eyes. You know, he got whoever's attention. They reach out to him. They're like, hey, man, we like what you're doing. We want to throw you some money. He goes, but what we do want, he said it was one of the alphabet. You know, it could be FBI, CIA, one of these people. But he's like, we're going to throw you some money, good money. Keep doing your thing. But every now and then mix in some bullshit. That's what I think could happen with Rogan. But that's just me.
He's doing a damn good job of it.
Very, like, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan, dude.
It seems like, because he's not perfect. He's fucked up some things, but he seems genuine when he says wrong things.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
But he also does mushrooms and works out. So I want to believe he's on the light side.
I kind of feel like he's turning, like, it's a matter of time before he becomes a Christian. I feel like he's just right there on the verge.
He basically is.
Right?
He preaches the same shit without calling it Jesus Christ.
Because I feel like he's just right there, man. Like, the door's open, bro.
But that's what you just said. What would you do if that happened to you?
Cut the check. Nah, dude. I couldn't, man. I couldn't look in the mirror and respect the person that I see, dude.
They're good at what they do because that's perfect. Just throw in a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah.
But once you receive that money, you're fucked.
It'd be hard, dude. Like, you know.
No, because they got you by the balls once you get them.
Yeah. That's the problem. You know,
this is why I believe Rogan hasn't been compromised. But I think they might throw people his way to fucking steer people.
Throw a little razzle dazzle. Yeah.
So I don't think it's him, but I think the alphabet people or whatever you want to call them say you get under his radar and you say this.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe like Bob Lazar.
Yeah. And he's got a guy, is it Mike Baker? Like he's legit CIA.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, 90% of the time they're just bullshitting. But
that's what the fucked up shit is. Everything with these conspiracies we talk about, there's always a little bit of truth in all of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what keeps you going. Mm-hmm. They did a good job with QAnon, fucking up everything with QAnon.
Dude, I was gung-ho about that shit when it first happened. And then
now we all look like QAnon, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It's just...
They really did a good job with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got me, bro.
This is why they're almost unbeatable. Oh, my God.
I was all in, dude. I was all in. But I just love that shit, man. Okay, what's the conspiracy that kind of first got you into it?
Just in all of it?
What's the first time you heard something where it was like, man, let me check that out? And then it just got your attention where you know that there's some fuckery going on.
I don't know. Maybe it was Kennedy's assassination.
Yeah. That's always a good one.
Because I grew up on History Channel. I loved History Channel. And now that I'm older, realizing that propaganda bullshit.
That's my shit too, dude. Ancient Aliens. That's my shit.
So I grew up on that. So I watch I love history, and I would watch a lot of documentaries about that assassination, obviously. Mm-hmm. So you watch it, and you see like the magic bullet and all that bullshit. And then I went there about 2 years ago, and I was like,
it's a lot smaller than I thought, dude.
It is, and I'm like, there's no way it was just one person. Mm-hmm. I asked the people there because they're crazy. I was like, who do you think? He was like, there was 3. That's what he told me. But again, bringing up Rogan, he brought up another point. There was probably like 5 people on the knoll that made sure that job was done. I didn't even think about that. Like,
one of them was supposed to be like Woody Harrelson's dad.
Yeah.
You ever hear that shit?
Yeah, he's from Midland. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's dad. Yeah. Have you heard about that?
No.
That's Matthew McConaughey's dad, dude. They're brothers.
Damn, no, I didn't know that.
That's allegedly. But
you're starting disinformation over here.
All right. He wrote in his book about it.
I didn't know that.
Like his mom would go and have little sabbaticals. He was one of the dudes she was sleeping with.
Really?
And then when I think, I could be wrong, that the day Matthew McConaughey was born, his dad went there and was like, that's not my baby. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, so.
Nothing surprising.
So I think it was like that, and then just getting into Rogan and all these other people and kind of thinking for myself. But what really, really tipped the scales for me was COVID.
Really?
It was COVID.
Where you're like, oh, wait a second.
I was like, because I got the vaccine. I wasn't even forced to get it. And I got it. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have.
Like, wait a second. We can't be around here, but there's these protests going on?
Yeah. I was like, I'm 24 and I did it. Damn it. What can you do?
Yeah.
And then I started just like, what really spooked me out was them deleting people's YouTube channels for talking about it. That's really scared the shit out of me.
That got your attention, yeah.
And I'm like, why can't we talk about this? Mm-hmm. It just was like a turning of age for me. And I was like, something, wherever it started, like, why can't you speak out against? You have to be able to, that's one of the reasons I do this. You have to be able to have these conversations against, like, have alternative viewpoints. I hate that word, but
but it's true.
Viewpoints and kind of like, you should be able to question anything and everything.
Because I think, I mean, as shitty as COVID was, there's a little bit of a silver lining to it, man, because a lot of people woke up. A lot of people
Nobody
woke
believes
up.
in news anymore.
Yeah, man.
And then you realize, like, then you really see the machine. It's not some fucking conspiracy. Fucking Pfizer spending trillions of dollars on the media. Why do you have?
Man.
We're the only country and one other one, whatever.
You know what bugged me out, man? I remember seeing a few years ago that, there was like all those like ISIS beheading videos and stuff like that. Did you know that our CIA spent $500 million producing those videos?
Nope, I didn't know that. I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, dude, that's wild, man. So I remember seeing them, dude, and I was like, it was like on the far end of the conspiracy spectrum because these dudes look like a lot taller than normal people. And I'm like, oh shit, they got Nephilim dudes over here cutting heads off. But it ended up being our own government paying for that shit, dude.
You say that, the conspiracy. I was watching Narcos. That's another one that did it for me.
Really?
Because it was Narcos, I think it was Mexico. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the first season. But one of the guys is like trying to stop this. Like he believes he's stopping a real issue, which it is, but he gets to the top of the line, and he finally, like, this uncovering of the boss, and it's our ambassador. And the guy's like, you can't. They're fighting the communists. We have to give these guys money.
Yep.
You cannot stop them. And I was like, oh. And I know that's a show, and I was like, but that's true.
It's true, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Life was so much easier before you knew better.
And then you look into it, like, you're giving it to the, unfortunately, to the poorer communities, black people, to fund it. Oh, man. And then you just go and go. And again, shout out to War Mode. I really got into them last year. And you learn about, like, Ted Kaczynski. You learn about Waco. You learn about the Oklahoma City bombing.
Like, it's not what we were told, man.
You learn about, like, experimenting on your own people with mind control, with drugs, with syphilis. The Spanish flu started here in America.
Manson, bro.
Manson.
That shit bugged me out.
All of this starts to come on, and then you're like, oh, my God.
Like, what's real anymore?
Like, how many people really believe they're doing a good job? And then you hear Epstein, and then you're like, oh, no. Because, again, I'm a red-blooded American. I believe in this shit. I believe in that flag. And you're like, oh, what does that even really mean?
Yeah, man.
And then you see these migrants coming over, and you're like, they're coming over here because of shit we did in their country. And you're like, man.
Yeah, and then they're giving them guns now. You hear about that shit.
Don't tell me about that. I'm going out of town in a few weeks. I'm going to Vegas. Don't tell me that.
Oh, Vegas is lit, dude. You'll be good, man. It's fun.
Yeah, and then you keep going and going, and it really hit us fucking, like, I was like, everything's a goddamn conspiracy for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna pretend like it's all just bullshit. But then you really connect the dots. Just follow the money and connect the dots.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to get into, like, with Ted Kaczynski and like
all the LSD shit that they had him doing, the experiments and stuff like that.
Of course, and then you learn, like, I'm not good at regurgitating it, but, like, you learn of the people he targeted and who they worked for. It's the same companies like Gates and Musk.
Yeah, man.
You're like, oh my God.
There was because I remember hearing it the first time.
They're all connected, dude.
Dude, Tripoli was talking about how he's like he had made a shirt, saying Kaczynski was right. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that's a fucking gnarly shirt.
You could make that argument.
Yeah, but really when you look into, you're like, oh yeah, I get what he's saying.
And then, like, his cabin's in a fucking warehouse. They just took it. They just uplifted it off the ground. And yeah, you learn, like, he I'm not saying people deserve to die, but when you learn about him, you're like, oh shit, they had it coming.
Right.
They really fucked him.
Yeah.
And then, you learn about, like, Waco and what happened from Waco. Oh, it was Ruby Ridge. That's what it was. Ruby Ridge started it. And then, like, these guys were talking about how, like, so in the 80s and the 90s, they were working on terrorism to implement shit that they've started, like the Patriot Act, like surveillance and all that. So they were going to create terrorism in America.
Problem, reaction, solution.
So they started with, like, Ruby Ridge and Oklahoma City and Waco. Mm-hmm. But they saw that the public was like, well, these are white men. The public is not, well, if you go to the Middle East, they're brown. We could do terrorism.
Be a lot easier that way.
We do terrorism over there.
Yeah.
Create these problems, and then we have a solution.
It's an easy enemy.
I think that's what it is, though. It's a lot of, like, I don't even know if they create the problems. I really don't. I know that they're quick to, like, all right, well, COVID happened. Let's implement vaccine passport.
Let's hit that red button. Yeah.
9/11. Let's do the Patriot Act. TikTok. Well,
they had the Patriot Act ready to go.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so that's why I don't know if, like, they really or they could just be like, well, we found this guy. He's schizophrenic. He's crazy. He's on the edge. Let's throw a little bit of shit in his head to, like, do something.
Yeah.
That's real, by the way.
Yeah. Well, like, they call him, like, there's a dude I used to listen to, man. He was like I heard about him, like, on a Christian podcast, man. And he was like, he worked for, like, a sheriff's department, but he would do like a satanic ritual abuse, like rescue people from it and stuff like that. And he was just talking about how, like, this was, like, back in I would say at least 10 years ago, this guy named Russ Disdar. And he was talking about how, like, man, even back then, that there was over 1 million sleeper cells in the United States. Like, that were, like what you're saying, they're, like, in their head, they're just waiting to get triggered. And there's a shooting over here. There's something done over here. And, like, they're just going to set them off, man, little by little whenever they need them. And I was like, I don't know. That's a big number, man. That's a big number. But they just have them like, hey, man.
Yeah, and then you have a surveillance state.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was true. Again, all this is allegedly, by the way. One of the cardinals, he made a quote today. I don't know if this is true, but he said, the barbarians are already in the gates. talking about America. He's like, they're already here.
We're infiltrated. Man, just chill.
I'm going to Vegas, man. I'm going to go have fun.
What are you going to do in Vegas?
I'm going to a music festival.
Oh, yeah,
Sick New World. And I'm just hold off.
One of my coworkers is going to that one, too.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
You already did something there, so wait.
Just chill.
Another
Be
fucking
cool. Be
another
cool for
festival.
a little while.
That one, have you, like the Vegas shooting, that one's crazy.
Man. Dude, so once again, there's another podcast I listened to. This dude, man, he was like an investigator for like the IRS or some shit, right? So this guy, he had a podcast and he was talking about how he started researching that shooting. What was it called? It was at the Jason Aldean concert.
It's the same place where this festival is going to be, by the way.
At Mandalay Bay, right there in front of it.
Yeah.
So this dude's like kind of investigating it, and he was like, "Nah, man, there's so many inconsistencies with the story." And like every couple of days, he'd do a podcast talking about this. And then finally one day, he's like, "Hey, I'm done with this. I'm not talking about it. Shit got real. I was too above the target." And he just changed his whole thing. Never talked about it, dude. He just stopped talking about it. So, and then it came and went, right? You don't hear about it. You never heard what really, really happened. That's
they covered it up so quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know much about it. I just know I've seen videos that there was more than one shooter.
Yeah. Some wild shit, man. And then that sheriff that was in control of that whole story went to Hawaii, dog.
Yeah,
he was in charge of
that's right.
of the Maui fires.
God damn it, that's right. Yeah, he was in charge of the cover up there.
Yeah.
The cleanup, not the cover up. Goes to Maui.
Call it what you want, right? But
and then again, like, I'm not saying that they started the fire over there. Now they're gonna fucking develop all these tribal lands and shit.
Yeah, man.
Look what's happening in Israel. Come on now. It's just they're so quick to fucking jump the gun.
You can't see past the bullshit anymore. You see it now that you're aware.
You know, I think that's worse because nobody gives a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a goddamn about any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Drake diss. That's what they're thinking, not this bullshit.
But I think that's why they want to take down TikTok, man, because the average person is a full-blown journalist now, dude, doing the research.
Well, I think they should, but I think they're trying
really?
to. Yeah, I think they definitely should. It's fucking ruining. It's good propaganda.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point, too.
You got kids, come on now.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to police the internet. That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm for a free internet. Obviously, don't traffic people, children.
The wild shit, yeah.
The illegal shit. But other than that, posting a meme shouldn't be illegal.
Yeah. I get that point of view too. Yeah, I get it. But I was late to TikTok, man. My wife, like during COVID, that's why I was like, it was kind of lit, man, because that's when we really started like paying attention to TikTok and stuff. And I'm like, man, I get so much information from it now. Like a lot of it might be disinformation.
Get off ChatGPT. Get off TikTok. Jesus Christ.
Really? ChatGPT is that badass?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Get off of it. I have it, but I post my videos on there. I don't create TikToks. I don't scroll through.
You're not over there dancing in the corner and doing shit?
No. If I am, it's because I'm going to post it on all platforms. But
got you. It's not for TikTok.
But they already have my information, so whatever. Who gives a fuck? But I think they should ban it. But police, that's what's scary though. Is now you give them that power, and they're not going to stop.
Do you think that'll create a vacuum though for just someone else to do the same thing?
Yeah, I hope so. And it's an American company. Let the Americans spy on us, not the Chinese. I'm fine with fucking Zuckerberg and
they've got all our
and
information
Musk
anyway, man.
And all these guys, they're American. Let them spy on us, but not
these
the
foreign
people,
folks.
not the people across the sea, man. Because that's scary. Let us be the nerds, you know.
Dude, it's just scary, man. When you get into it, do you ever listen to Sean Ryan? You ever listen to the Sean Ryan show? He had a guy on there. He's like the number one like ethical hacker in the world. And this dude was just talking about, like, it's a dope podcast, man, because he does it to catch people. Like,
I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, dude. I heard him on the Sean Ryan show. But
no,
apparently
I've heard of Sean Ryan, yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like, dude, there's so much technology out there. If you know what you're doing, it's just impossible to avoid it at this point. It's just your information's out there. Luckily for me, like, you hack my shit, you're going to get, what, $10 I got in the bank, in a mid-ass credit score.
I was telling my friend that, like, God forbid they ever... Like, we're not saying, like, just like the memes and the messages I send my friends.
Dude.
I'm like, I send them to you now, so you get them.
Yeah.
I have worse that I don't send to you.
Same, dude. I think we joke about it, like, man, dude, if our shit gets leaked, because we'll send some gnarly shit.
I'll just show you one off the back. How about that?
Dude, my cousin's notorious for sending me pictures of his dookie. You know, that's just his thing. He'll catch me slipping. That's
disgusting. Don't you ever do that to me. You'll start a war.
I wouldn't do that. But it's funny. My wife was... she was going to get my phone for something. And I go, wait, let me see my phone real quick. And she's like, what? And I go, just let me see it real quick. And so I went to delete that picture because I had it saved because I was going to Photoshop it on his face. And she was like, she thought I was trying to like hide something from her. I go, no. There's a picture of shit in my phone that I don't want you to see. You know, guys are going to do guy stuff. I don't know how gnarly y'all get in y'all's group text. But
oh, man, it gets pretty racist.
It's fun sometimes. You don't mean it.
No,
you don't mean it. It's just.
I don't even have anything.
Okay, I don't call it racist. I just think you poke fun at stereotypes.
Well, I don't create it.
Mm-hmm.
I just share it. So that's why I'm like, well, if you see what the shit I share, man.
Yeah. Because we laugh about it.
Just look at that one. That's just a tip of the iceberg.
Can I read it out loud? I'm just fucking with you. God dang. I got you.
it gets way worse, my friend.
Yeah, same, man. But it's like it's more about poking fun at like racial stereotypes. It has nothing to do with real racism. It's just for shits and giggles. You know, it's all good. Well, send me that one. I might have to recycle that one.
No, I can't. I can't send it to you. It's too bad.
It's all good though.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't create it. I just share it with a few people that have the same sense of humor. But
yeah,
you know what's crazy is though, it's on Twitter. People create that on Twitter. That's what's fucking wild.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because you get on the right subreddit, man. There's some pretty
I
good stuff out
I haven't
there.
got on Reddit. I don't get on it.
No,
I don't even know how to use it.
it's pretty dope, man.
Is it
But I don't
crazy?
get on. But I don't get on. I don't get on Twitter.
I've heard they started cleaning that up.
It's not what it once was,
Yeah.
but it's still pretty fun.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a subreddit for everything.
Is there a
It's
Lubbock
pretty cool.
subreddit?
Yeah,
What's going on?
it's
in there?
boring.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just Karens, pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's not. There's a and I'm not. It's not from experience, but I've seen there's a Lubbock swingers Reddit.
You know, it's crazy. Is I'm about to drop a podcast with another comedian. He said he's hosting a swingers party.
Really?
Yeah, apparently that's a big thing here.
Yeah, I've heard
Those
that too. Man.
nasty rich people.
That's what it is, man.
Can we talk about that? Like you know, like are you familiar with Adam 22 and all these like OnlyFans?
I'm not a fan, bro.
Like, I couldn't fathom the idea of me and my girl being naked with somebody else in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone that a swinging dick that's hard and that's trying to fuck my. I just couldn't.
I couldn't either.
I couldn't even like fathom the idea of
And he's like,
hell.
I don't know,
Another
man.
woman. Let me throw that out there. Another
Yeah.
woman being in the room with us.
But dude, he's just all about the clicks, man. He's. I've heard
But
him
what do
talk
you- what
about
do you-
it.
I mean, I get him. Like he's soulless and he just wants money.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think this is? Is this just like what we've always done? It's just now it's on up in the
I don't know, man.
like
I feel like
cuck holding, and is this like the water making us gay? What is this? Like,
I think it's people are just so vain, man. You know, the Bible talks about in the end days, people are going to be lovers of themselves, and that's
Jesus Christ.
That's what we're living in, man.
Yeah.
We're living in those times, man, where, dude, I mean, every people like, especially on his podcast, he'll have like chicks on there that are just bragging about being hoes, and I'm like, come on, man, you're somebody's daughter. You're gonna be somebody's mom someday. Once it's out on the internet, it's there for good. You know.
I mean, I respect people's ability to do it and their hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I get that capitalism, love it. But I just like, man, this is like, you just go back to porn, man. Like, this is
Good old
weird.
fashioned.
This is like this. It's also making us look bad podcasting because I hate that shit. These fucking OnlyFans podcasts and women and
killing
these
it.
men trying to degrade women and shit. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's just weird and I don't know. I see. Maybe it's my algorithm. I see a lot of that cuckolding shit, and I'm like, how do you as a man allow that to fucking happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was and I saw him talking about how like, you know, he had just got married, and then that's when she does the scene with Jason Love, right?
Did you watch it?
Nah, I haven't.
Me either.
I don't really watch porn, man. I don't. But there was a time where, you know, I've got my my go-to, you know, Ava Adams,
Ooh.
Jonna Michaels.
God
I've
damn.
got my go-tos that I
love them.
I used to.
I don't get to talk porn on the pod. Yay.
No. I haven't watched porn in years, man. I haven't. It's just something that I just stopped doing. But you know, to each your own. I mean, if you watch it, I'm not no judging.
I'm all for
But,
it.
yeah,
being
whatever.
legal, but
But yeah, whenever that happened, I saw an interview him talking about how like it was like he saw it as the best way to like spit in God's face. He said that.
Oh, Jesus.
Those words came out of his mouth, you know, and I've never really cared for the dude, but I would follow him and stuff because, you know, he had some interesting stuff on there, and ever since then I'm like, oh, this dude just sucks, man. I stopped paying attention to him after that because, like, man, I see marriage as it's a sacred thing, man.
Yeah.
You know, this is your wife, this is your one and only. It's not to share. It's like I take it pretty serious, and these people are just doing it all willy nilly because it's something to do.
So let's say you're not married. You wouldn't be able to date a woman that has an OnlyFans.
I don't know, man.
She's not fucking.
Just doing some cool shit.
Just her doing whatever.
I don't know, man. That thought never crossed my mind, man. It never crossed.
Or if your wife was like, "Hey, I want to do an OnlyFans with you,"
Nah.
you would say no.
I'd have to wear like a luchador mask or something like that. I don't want anybody. Nah, I don't. I ain't gonna lie, dude. Like, we joke about it. My wife and I joke about it because she's got real pretty feet. I'm like, man, go start your OnlyFans and just show your feet.
That's not a bad idea because I don't think there's any harm in that. Yeah, maybe.
So check this out. So I was talking about this with somebody, and I don't want to come across like I'm this Bible thumper, but I am a Christian, right? And I'm not the best example of a Christian, but I am through and through. And so we were talking about that, and I was like, man, let's say you started an OnlyFans, right? I feel like the sin is on. Let's say your girl, whatever, started one. I feel like the sin is on her as much as it is on the person because you're causing them to sin. Like if they're on OnlyFans and they're blasting off, whatever, they wouldn't be doing that if you didn't give them something to do it to. So, I might be overanalyzing it, but that's how I see it.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Like if you're a drug dealer.
But there's no accountability for the other person. Like me watching the porn. There's no account. You're taking away my accountability of actually looking at it.
Right.
So thank you. But, I mean, yeah, with the drug dealers, the same. Like,
yeah, like they wouldn't be going to get drugs from you if you weren't selling it.
But they would go somewhere else.
True. That's a good answer.
There's always going to be. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I mean, I think you're complicit if you allow your girlfriend to. If you see it as a sin and you try to live as like a good example, which I think we all should do, just live like an example you want to see in the world. So yeah, like you're complicit.
Yeah.
But I'll say this.
That money comes in though, boy.
I'll say this. I think my ex-girlfriend, I don't know if she deleted it, but there's a video of us out there. So I hope that hasn't.
No shit.
I hope she deleted it. I'm not going to make it.
It's going to be on the Lubbock subreddit.
I've put it out there before on the pod that it's out there, but nobody's found it. So
no
we'll
shit.
See. I have no, I'm not going to do that. Like I'm not going to disrespect myself and my woman like that, but I have no shame that it's out there. I'm like, oh yeah, I was 20 something.
Yeah, we all do stupid shit.
It's out there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's one of those things that doesn't bother me.
But
I probably was like lame as fuck doing it. But that's the only shit.
If you're into some mid porn,
just some fucking basic shit, man. That you get better on the internet. But
damn, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't. But yeah, I don't know because I think about having kids and like what sort of example. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like I don't want to shame women or men.
Yeah, to each their own. Man. Yeah.
I would be devastated if I had a daughter and she did that.
Yeah.
And my girl was just telling me about all these other women's, like, the things they're going through. And I literally told her, like, if I have a girl, I'm going to love the shit out of her. Because, boy, oh, boy, goddamn, man.
Yeah,
this is, like, nuts.
You don't want her to have no daddy issues.
Yeah. Like,
but there's some crazy, like, do you listen to Fighter and the Kid?
I hate Brendan Shaw.
Everybody says that when I bring that show up.
I try. I like Shaw.
Callan.
Yeah, Callan.
Well, they had an intern that was on the and like she left the show because she's making crazy money.
That's about when I stopped listening.
Yeah, when she left.
Right after her.
But
not because of that, but
yeah, dude, she's making crazy money.
She's not even posting nudes.
It's just feet, bro. I'd show my crusty ass feet for there's an audience for everybody.
It must be nice. I get it. Women have a lot of like societal issues. And it's probably dangerous being a woman, but I mean, you posting
pretty
feet.
Awesome being a woman too.
You could sell your bathwater for $100.
Dude, did you see that lady, that one chick that was selling her farts?
Yeah, I think she like sent herself to the hospital.
She got sick. Yeah, like there's some. If you could think of it, somebody.
If you jarred my fart and smelled it, if it traveled in a heated box across country and you smelled it, I think I would be complicit with murder because that thing would be god awful.
Especially a night after drinking.
I'm scared to go to the doctor. Like I don't have any health issues, but I'm not shitting you when I tell you this. I have the worst smelling farts you have ever smelled in your life.
Prove it.
If I could, I would. I don't have to fart.
You're good, man.
But
I'll take your word for it.
It is awful. The things.
But hey, there's an audience out there, bro. You'd be surprised.
I'll tell you what. One time, again, my ex-girlfriend, shout out there. I farted so much in my room that she left. She said, I can't take this no more. I'm leaving. And she left.
That bad?
The temperature in the room changed.
God dang, dude. So you and your girl that you're currently with, do y'all fart in front of each other?
I fart in front of her. She won't fart in front of me.
She keeps it sexy.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't. I've been doing that since day one I met her. I don't.
That's kind of a tight move, man. Just get it out of the way early.
But I don't give a fuck. Like I'll just do it.
How long?
You know
so
what's
the
crazy?
first date you're already popping off?
Well, we were like, she came and helped me do this podcast before we started dating.
Oh, so y'all already kind of friendly as it is.
We were already acquaintances.
I see.
And I just was like, I burp and fart. I will not fart in front of my boss because it's just me and him in the truck landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only person on this planet that I will not fart in front.
Really?
Pretty much. I love farting in crowds and watching people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
You're just waiting to get the reaction?
Because it's especially at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that bad. I love it.
Dude, I did some asshole shit years ago, man. And I'm not proud of it, but it was funny because we were at Buffalo Wild Wings and there was a chick that worked there that was like a little person.
Like a midget?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if
Dude, I ripped one right in her face, and I didn't do it on purpose.
Oh.
You know, I was just sitting at the bar, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to rip one, man, because, like, I feel sick. I got to let this out. And then I turn around, and she goes, oh, my God. And I'm like, oh, no, my bad. I didn't let her know, but, like, she had to have tasted it, bro.
That's going to be part of the clip. This little excerpt.
And I was just like, God dang it. I felt so bad. But I don't mind farting in front of
Does your wife? I'm gonna guess.
My wife keeps it sexy. She will not.
You know what's crazy is my friend. How long have y'all been married?
Yeah, 15 years, 16 years.
So my friend, he's 31, and he met his girlfriend, his wife, when they were 14. They're the only two people they've ever been together.
Dope.
With, which is pretty cool. And I hate to put his. I hadn't said his name,
okay.
So we're good. He said that she has never farted in front of him in all that time until she got pregnant with their last baby.
Really?
And she was like, I just couldn't. It was too much.
My wife won't if she like if she can.
She's birds your children.
Yeah, dude, she won't. She will not.
Married to you forever. Loves you.
I'll never forget the first time I heard her fart though, dude. It was in her sleep, and I remember like we'd already been married a few years, dude, and so I'm up watching TV. She's already asleep, and I hear. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then another one. And so I'm cracking up, dude. I'm howling, bro. I'm just like, oh, shit.
You've been waiting for it.
And she wakes up, and she goes, that's why I don't do that shit in front of you, you know? And I'm like, man, I'm sorry. You didn't. It's cool. You were asleep. You know, it's no big deal. Another one comes out, and I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm shaking the bed where I'm just like just trying not to laugh out loud because I don't want her to yell at me. But I'm just like, God damn. But yeah, she will not. She will not in front of me, man.
Jen hasn't. And it's like she's dug herself in a hole because of the day she does. I think I'm going to make her cry.
It's built up so much.
Because I'm going to laugh and make fun of her so much she might cry.
Dude, I remember I would, like, when my wife and I started dating, I'd go home sick, man, because I would hold them in.
Really?
I would just hold them in. And that's what I'm saying when you said you got it out of the way early. That's tight.
It's not even like that I did it like that. I just don't give a fuck.
Really?
You know what I mean? It's nothing I never thought of.
It's just
like, if I mean, I'm not in the dating world, but like if I was going to date a girl, like, it would be to marry her, and I'm like, this is me.
Take it or leave it.
I'm going to fart for the rest of my life, probably on you and in your face. So
okay, so if this is crossing the line, you don't have to answer. Will y'all shit in front of each other?
No, she won't.
No?
I will.
Like you'll leave the door open? Or
I don't like to, but I don't mind it.
It's not a big deal.
I don't give a fuck. But again, if you're willing to go in there whenever I am,
you're playing with fire.
That's on you. But no, she hasn't done that either.
You ever shit at a club or at the bar?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Really?
One time my friend fell asleep on the shitter. But yeah, I will. I don't mind it.
I've done it once.
My thing is, though, my ass cheeks can't touch the toilet.
So you're hovering the whole time?
If I have to, or I'll put toilet paper down.
Oh, okay. I get it.
But, oh, man, it's my favorite to do that at the bar.
Dude, I got a funny story about the one time I shit at the club, man. It was that same club I was telling you about, that Grams.
Yeah.
So I used to work at the plant where my boy Eric works at the post office, but I worked like kind of the night shift. So my routine was go to work. I get out at like 10:30, 11, go get my protein shake, and then go to the gym. Because it used to be Gym X back in the day on like Brownfield Highway. So that was my routine. And so I got out of work, drank my protein shake, and my boy's like, hey, man, let's go to Grams. Let's go. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm fixing to go to the gym. I just drank my protein. He's like, come on, man, let's just go. So he twisted my arm. We go to the club. And I'm having a good time. You know, I'm there on the dance floor, dancing with this chick. And the farts start seeping out. Just, and, you know, we're kind of sniffing around. I'm like, fuck, man, this has got to go down. You know, I'm like getting the sweats. And so I tell my boy, I'm like, hey, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here, dude. We got to go. I'm about to shit my pants. He's like, no. He's like, I'm trying to holler at this chick, man. Just be cool, you know? And so I'm just kind of hanging out. And I'm like, all right, it's got to go down. I can't hold this anymore. So I go to the restroom. Well, they just have dividers in the restroom. They're just there's
yeah.
no doors.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who
I've
the
been to
genius is that said, let's not put a door on here.
Chimmy's is like that.
Yeah, dude, I will never shit at Chimmy's,
Yeah,
bro, for that
yeah,
reason.
I won't either.
And so I'm like, okay, so there's 2 spots. I go to the far one, and I'm like, all right, it's got to go down. I'm shitting. I hear people walk in. So you do the classic movie, lift your legs up so nobody knows you're in there. And so I'm in there just blowing it up. And I'm like, all right. Nobody knows I'm here. Just be cool. These guys are going to leave. Well, this dude walks in, and he's over there fixing his hair in the mirror. And he looks back and sees me with my legs up sitting in the shitter. And he tells his boy, he goes, oh, shit, there's somebody in here taking a dump.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, God damn, man, you know. And so I'm like, all right, well, my night's fucked after that. So, you know, they're laughing at me, clowning at me. They walk out, dude, and I'm like, man, this dude's got the trump card on me the rest of the night. Because, like, say I'm over here hollering at a girl. He's like, oh, that's that dude. So they're taking a shit. And so I tell my boy, like, hey, man, it's the night's done for me. I'm just going to chill the rest of the night. But, yeah, I shit at the club one time only.
I mean, I get the no stall thing, man. That's weird, but I have no problem doing it.
Really?
Fuck, man. Let them fucking talk about it. I don't give a shit. They got to smell it.
I couldn't, man. One time I had to go next door to Jimmy John's and buy something to eat because I had to take a shit so bad. I was at Jimmy's, man, and I went in there and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to shit here. So I went next door and I bought a cookie, you know, just so I could take a shit in the restroom.
I'm trying to think if I had, because my girlfriend's parents' house is smaller, so the rooms are real close. I had apprehension about doing it there. I don't remember if I did or not, but I remember like
that's a gamble.
Too close to the kitchen.
That's a gamble, man.
So bad. So maybe I didn't do it there.
But
that's just
that,
because there was
care.
a lot of people like in the house too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they'll know it's me, but I don't really care. But it's gonna be bad.
Well, if you plan on sticking around the family for a little while, it's a good way to break the ice.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten drunk with them, so we're all fun.
It's all good.
Yeah.
How long have y'all been together?
Coming on 3 years.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, 3, I think.
Good shit. I shouldn't have edited that part out.
Fuck it.
It's all good.
I have to resort back to Instagram sometimes to see when I
feel you, man.
I'm like, oh shit.
When people ask me, I'm just like, we've been together a minute. It's good. It's all good. You know.
Hold on, I gotta fix my hair. No homo.
So when you did our show, man, what'd you think about that? Because you know we keep it pretty silly. You know, like I love to play the pause game, man. Like any little thing, like and it's just weird, like to be in your shoes coming into a show where you don't really know our sense of humor really and stuff like that. Was it awkward?
No, what you didn't see is I drank 6 tall boy beers.
Yeah.
So
you got nice and loose.
I was loose, so yeah, you didn't see that. But no, I was looking forward to it. I've been wanting to do other people's podcasts because it's like out of my comfort zone. Because I'm good at doing this right here. I'm comfortable doing it right here, but going to somewhere else. But I'll tell you what, I did another one like 2 months ago, and we did 4 hours. 4 hours. And it was the first time I met them.
No shit. Damn.
So I was like, all right, it can't be.
Because I heard you say that you've done a 5-hour show.
It was
before?
it was 4 or 5 with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, I've done these cameras won't allow me. If these cameras let me, I'd try to do 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah, but they won't. They don't go that long.
I feel like I'd run out of shit to talk about. I say that, man, but I mean,
you just keep going.
You just keep going. Yeah.
Keep drinking a little bit of liquor.
Yep.
Take a little bit of break here and there.
Because sometimes I would like we'll just go off, man, and I was like, all right, dude, I got the wife waiting on me. We just gotta you know, put a bow on it and call it a night.
Yeah.
But it's just who would have thought this would be a thing? It's just people talking.
I love it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. It's so fucking cool.
It'd be the best way to make a living, man. You know, like we were talking about that before we started recording. That's like a dream. Like just to.
It's like what I'm working towards, but I'm so institutionalized. Like I don't know what I would do if I did this as a job, because you're only doing it 2 or 3 hours a week. With the rest of the time, I'm like, ooh, I'm more productive Monday through Friday because I'm like, I don't know, because my time is so limited. Like I don't do shit on the weekends when I have all the time in the world.
Really?
It's just weird. So I think I'd have a problem there, but that's the goal. I don't.
How often do you record? Just whenever you have free time?
This I do. I try to do once a week. This has to happen once a week, and then they have Lords of Film. That's been going on once a week, or one. I told them to give me two a month, and then the Patreon. Obviously, we do that one once every week.
Patreon's chill, man. I like the vibe. You just play some music and
it's pretty fun.
I like that.
You
shout out to those out there playing some Hall & Notes and start the show off last.
Is that what it was?
Last one, yeah.
So you do listen?
That's my shit. Yeah. I do.
So that girl is the girl we're trying to get to come do the podcast.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's a pretty funny girl, but
Yeah, bro, I listen, man.
Come do it.
They let me know. I'm always down.
Come do it Thursday.
If I'm available, I'm down. Yeah, I'm always down.
You down? Are you available Thursday?
I'll get back to you. I'm not too sure,
Okay.
but if I'm like I tell people, like, if I'm available, I'm always down just to go and bullshit.
I love doing podcasts.
Yeah, it's
man.
fun, dude.
It is fun.
I would have never thought it would be so fun, dude, because when we first started talking about doing it, like, we were just gonna talk about music, because we could talk. My buddy and Eric and I could talk about music all day. That was supposed to be what our show was gonna be about, but dude, we're slapdicks, man. We can't help but
I ain't
just,
heard that in a while.
we're just slapdicks, man. We get to bullshit and then get some beer, and even without the alcohol, man, we just don't take ourselves serious. And it went from like, if we have I want to say episode 1 is almost all music, and then it just went left field after that.
How many episodes you have?
We just did our, like, official episode 200, but we've got more than that,
nice.
because we've done, like, bonus episodes and stuff like that. But, like, 230 maybe, something like that. But the official episode 200 was, I think, last week or the week before.
Yeah,
But
I was trying to do the math on how many hours I've done. It's like a full day of recording.
Damn.
I think, no, what am I talking about?
Like,
Not a full day.
I thought you were talking about, like, compared, like, the ones you do in a week is worth a full day.
What's 300 hours?
300 hours?
Yeah, roughly 300. Why did I say a day? That's stupid.
Just got to do the math, man. How many days
Like
it would
week?
be? Is that what you're saying? How many days it would be? So is that how many episodes you have? 300 already?
Hold on, let me see. Roughly 300 hours of just all of it together. Some 12 and a half days.
Which is
Fucking
straight.
of recorded podcasting of my life. It's crazy.
You need to do like Tripoli does. He does like a 24-hour podcast. It's like, I guess it's like you call, I don't know what it is, dude. He says it's a number you call or whatever, and you can just listen in to his shit just on a loop. All of his shows on a loop. You can do that with all of yours. Nobody's gonna listen.
Fuck
You
no.
might just sit on your phone
It's just too
listening to
much,
this shit.
fucking too much work. You know,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about on election day in November doing a live podcast, like actually live on YouTube. I gotta figure out how to make that happen, but I want to do that.
You got to get you those pants like Rex Kwando, the freaking American flag pants.
Oh yeah,
You got to get you some of
I
those.
need some of those.
And just go shirtless, bro.
It'll be like in
Gotta get the
November.
tits
It's gonna
out.
be cold.
Oh yeah,
It's
never
gonna be
mind.
freezing. That's the only bad thing about doing it in here is there's no AC and no heater. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do in the summer. But
Dude, our first studio was like that, man.
Yeah.
Where like we have a spot where we do it, but man, I mean it's not the greatest studio spot, and so in the summer it was freaking hot, and then the winter it was cold.
yeah, I'd rather be
You know?
cold though.
Same, I'm the same way, because you can just pile on.
It is hot in here, boy.
Get nice and musky.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's crazy is we did a podcast talking about that UFO incident that happened over here, and it was hot as fuck in the summer, and I was just in a pissed mood, and my Roadcaster broke. It was weird. As we were talking about aliens and government shit,
Really?
my fucking Roadcaster broke.
What
And
happened to it?
It was the old one, the first
Yeah.
edition, and it was old, I guess. I don't fucking know. I was like,
Because you got 300 hours in, man.
I
That's
was
why.
like, oh my god, this sucks. It was just weird that it was that episode. Obviously, it was like a coincidence.
Have you ever done a whole episode and like just something just shit the bed on it where like it didn't record or something?
It hasn't happened in a while,
No,
but
knock on
yeah,
wood, man, knock on
yeah.
wood. We did one, man, where it was like, to me, it was like the funniest bit. And because I don't even remember what it was about, but it was my buddy was talking about, he had did something at a talent show in elementary. And dude, I mean, we were like howling, and my power went out.
Oh,
Like it was like there was a storm or something, and I was like, so we finally everything comes back on, and he's like, so what do you want to do about that bit, man? That shit was gold. I'm like, I don't want to reenact it. Like it's not genuine, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes shit just happens, and you just gotta
it sucks.
keep going.
Yeah, I hate when that happens, but every now and then, sometimes the camera won't focus, and that really fucking just pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, god damn. I mean, the audio's still good, but
Yeah,
it just looks like shit. And I'm like, well, I'm still gonna put it out. I don't give a
you
fuck.
got to, man. Yeah, people
Other
can
than
fast
that,
forward if they don't like it.
Yeah. I've had to delete a few episodes, but
Really?
that was at the guest discretion. But other than that,
That's one thing we try not to do, man. Is like we don't want to edit anything out,
Yeah.
but we do some heavy editing.
I'll edit.
Yeah.
If we say bad words, but or if somebody asks me to, I'm like, all right.
So on your Patreon, you don't.
No, sometimes we edit because there's
Yeah.
we talk about people, and I don't want that information out.
Yeah,
But I don't know if they want that information
I
out.
get
So
it. Yeah.
And there's some words that I say that I have to delete, but you have to check it out. Check it out on Patreon.
See, we found a little loophole, and it may not even be a real loophole. We do characters, man. Because on the new Procaster, you can change the voices and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And so we do 2 characters. We're lice. We're hair lice. But the irony is, like, we're both bald, but we have beards. So we change our voices on the Procaster to where we sound like little, what we call them, piojos. In Spanish, hair lice is piojos. So we're these characters that live in our beard. Right? It's out there. It's just like a skit that we do. And we say the gnarliest shit, man.
They don't know who's who.
That's why we do it, man, because
God.
You can't tell who's who. You can't, and then we're hiding behind the mask of these characters. It's like, do you remember hearing like Duncan Trussell had that? Was it Little Hobo? You know who Duncan Trussell is, right?
Yeah, I know who he is.
So he had like a little puppet that would say the gnarliest shit, but it wasn't Duncan Trussell. It was the little puppet saying all this racist stuff,
that is
whatever.
A loophole.
Yeah, so that's kind of what, we don't say racist shit, but we get pretty vulgar. And we might. I don't think we have, but we might. It's all for fun.
Yeah, it's a car.
I thought it was my truck going off.
Let's take a pause because I actually do have to take a piss.
Go ahead. You're good.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I just don't even. I'm scared to try it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just get on YouTube, man. You can learn all that shit.
Yeah. Shit. I need to get new chords. I'm pretty confident in doing this. So like I don't mind like when I went to do y'all's doing the fucking pedophile voice or anything. So I don't give a fuck. I feel like I know what I'm doing when I'm podcasting, but outside of that, I get insecure about shit.
I get what you're saying. You stick with what you're good at. And
so I'm scared to put things out.
For the record, bro, you didn't come across as a pedophile voice. It was just
I felt that way.
Yeah, the shit was funny. Dude.
No, not the voice.
The scenario.
Yes,
yeah, got you.
I was seducing a young girl, man. I was like, what the fuck? Pedo pause.
It's pretty funny though, man. It was pretty funny. You're a good sport. Because I'll be honest, like if you had me come on your show and you were like, hey man, I'm gonna get you say some stupid shit. We got some lines for you. I don't know how I'd handle that.
Yeah.
But man.
Yeah, it was fun. I got to get back on over there with you.
Yeah, man. Definitely. We'll put it together.
So that other guy, what's the other guy's name?
Eric or the other guy? The Zimmerly? Anthony Zimmerly?
Yeah,
Anthony Zimmerly. He's got a podcast too.
Is he a part of y'all or no?
No, he's just a good, like a sister kind of podcast. He was gonna be like part of our generic media, but he's got his own spot, so there's no reason to come in. They do it out of his house and stuff. But
what's that one called?
Let Me Find Out podcast, and then he does the Dogfellas one about like apparently, dude, that's a huge community, dude. The dog breeding stuff. I had no idea.
Money.
I had no idea, man, until I started listening to his show. I'm like, oh damn, okay.
Yeah, it's a big issue here. I've had 2 mayor candidates come on and talk about, and so we asked people like, what do y'all want to talk about? What do y'all want us to talk about? And the dog issue here is a fucking huge deal. Like the stray dogs and shit.
Dude,
God damn.
Well, when I'm out delivering mail, man.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not gonna put this neighborhood on blast, but like where I deliver mail, it's kind of like the poor side of town.
Is it near the post office that you work at?
It's fairly near. Yeah, it's pretty close to it. But dude, there was a real pretty pit bull, man. I think it got hit by a car or something. It's just there in the middle of the street, and so I'm there checking on it, trying to like give it some water and shit. And so I called the pound, and I'm like, hey, can y'all get somebody over here to come pick this dog up? And like he's going through it. He's he's in a lot of pain. They're like, yeah, we'll send somebody out there. And so I'm like, well, I got to get going. I can't just sit here. And but I'm like, at least I called somebody, right? So like an hour later, I finish up the area I'm at. I come back to check on the dog, and it's still there chilling. It's like an hour later, and I'm like, God. So I call again, and I'm like, hey, can y'all get somebody over here? I don't think this dog's going to make it. They're like, yeah, well, we're trying to get somebody over there. We only have one guy doing the whole city. Yeah. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You've got one person? Like, that's a problem, man. Like, I get it, man. Shout out to those people that do that, because that's like it's a hard job. I'm sure people aren't knocking the doors down trying to chase dogs for a living, but man, pay them good to get more people to do it,
Yeah, it sucks.
I couldn't do it.
I knew that there was an issue with that, but I didn't know there was only one.
Well, that's what she told me. She might just be, just
Sounds
trying to get
right.
me to shut up. Yeah. It's a problem, man. It's a problem.
God damn. Yeah, but those my girlfriend's coworker, So she was telling me they spent like thousands on a Frenchie, couple thousand, and then one of her other coworkers bought a Basset Hound for $2,000 as well. Like, it's some fucking money.
Dude. That's like, and then like it's almost like you need to have like some kind of insurance on them and shit. You know, if they're gonna be paying that kind of money on a dog.
That's what I didn't even think about.
You know what I mean? Something, you know, like. Dude, I like growing up, my dogs, dude, we'd get whatever mutt we found at the flea market, never got his shots, none of that stuff.
And they live forever, huh?
Yeah, bro, just gave him bean leftovers, fideo and all that good stuff. They were fine. Yeah, they were good. But yeah, I could imagine spending this kind of money on dogs, man.
When you do so do you work for the United States Postal Service? Are y'all allowed to carry a weapon?
Nah, we just have dog spray, man.
You're not allowed to carry a gun?
Nah, it'd be nice because I've seen stuff where like shit happens, you know, to people out there delivering mail. No, we just, and you know, really, man, I'm willing to bet if something were to happen and we sprayed somebody with dog spray, like if they were like assaulting us, we'd probably get in trouble over it. I'd be willing to bet. Yeah, man, it's a trip.
Do people fuck with you?
Sometimes, man, but
that's crazy. I can't.
Right? It's like, don't mess with the people.
Like, it's like Amazon. I get that. No disrespect, but the fucking mail.
Every now and then, dude, you'll get. I mean, but it's usually somebody that's like a homeless person, or you know, like people were looking for their checks. You know, like they'll find me out on the route and they'll be like, "Hey, man, I need my check," and I'm like, "Well, I just can't give it to you right now. You know, I'll be at your house in a little bit. Just hang tight." And they'll start getting lippy with me. And
technically,
stuff like
you have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, unless they have like their ID, you know, show me your ID. Yeah, this is your check. This is your address. I'm not gonna trip about it, but
shit,
it's frowned upon. We're really not supposed to be doing that.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
It's a cool job, man. Like, it was supposed to be a job that I was just gonna do until I found a real job, and here I am, like 18 years later, I'm still doing it. But I love it, man. I'd love it because I get to listen to podcasts all day. I was never a reader, bro. I hated reading in school. I mean, I can probably count on one hand the actual physical books that I've read.
Fucking same, dude.
But dude, I'll eat through some audiobooks, man. You know, just throw them in my headphones, and like I have the luxury of being able to do that when I'm out on my route. So I love that shit.
Do you like make your own hours, or
no?
How
It's
does that work?
like 6 days a week most of the time, and we get Sundays off. And you know, like that day that you did our podcast, man, shit hit the fan where I was supposed to be at a certain time, but like people calling sick, so we got to go in. They'll split their route up in certain like 4 or 5 parts. I'll get a piece, somebody will get a piece, and we're just out there until we get it done, man. Mm-hmm.
Fucking A.
Yep.
Some bitch.
And that almost happened today. I was like, but yeah, because I thought it was going to be a long day, and I was like, man, I'm not going to cancel because you know you've tried getting me on here twice before. You'd hit me up and it hadn't worked out. I was like, nah, there's no way I'm going to cancel. Like, I'll show up in my uniform if I have to, man. I'm going to show up.
That would have been awesome.
Hell yeah, I've done it before, but like we just do audio, so it don't matter. You know, I'll be there in my mailman outfit, smelling like shit, smell like ass in the summertime.
Damn.
I love it, dude. I love it though, man. It's a cool gig. It's not too bad. It sucks at first, you know, but that's just anywhere you go, you're gonna get all the shitty routes where all the dogs are at and all that stuff. But I've been there long enough where I got a pretty chill route.
Yeah, so is this like seniority? You get to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Has anybody been there longer than you?
Yeah, there's lots of people there, man. Dude, there's people there, man. Like, even like if you're in the military, you get like, they credit you like 5 extra years on top of that. Yeah, military folks. Yeah.
I thought they were the ones that usually got that job.
The majority of them, like, there's a shitload of military people there that work there. It's crazy, dude. There's a lot of people there with like college degrees and stuff, you know? And I'm like, this is what you're doing?
You didn't graduate? You said you went to South Plains, right?
Yeah, but I fucked around, dude. Yeah, I feel bad. I wasted my parents' money, dude.
I went out there for a year. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. I had too much fun. So my buddy Eric, the one I do the podcast with, we that's when we started kicking it hard, man. It was out South Plains, and we wanted to be music producers.
They wanted a program out there, don't they?
Yeah, but you got to be talented. Yeah, that's what we were, because like I said, we were all about hip hop. We wanted to be. I had a little shitty keyboard. We would try to make beats and stuff, and we got to. I forgot what the class was, man. We were in it, and I'm like, oh, these people are actually talented. We're just here fucking around on like Fruit Loops. There's like a program on the computer where you make beats and stuff, and we just kind of fucked off, man. Both of us, you know, college wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
Luckily, like I've always enjoyed learning, so it was pretty much a breeze until my senior year.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, I fucked off. I could fuck off until my senior year of college.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I better get it to you.
So you're right. Did you graduated?
Yeah, I graduated from tech.
Dope.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't. That was again none of those things. It was like I don't want to go into this office fucking job. That'll kill my soul. And
Dude,
COVID happened, so I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll just. It was like, all right, do this landscaping job, and here I am 5 years later.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I'm still here.
But it works, man, for what you're doing. Yeah.
For now, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
gotta kick it into high gear.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that shit or get off the pot thing, but it's like, god damn, I don't want to sound entitled. It's like, man, where the fuck is my break?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, god damn, and putting in the hours,
You
but
just gotta.
I guess it'll just come if it does.
Right. I'm still waiting on mine too, bro. Still waiting
But
on
that's what's so hard about. I don't think people understand about podcasting unless you were famous before you got in. That doesn't make you good at it, but you already had those hundreds of
Built in.
thousands of fucking.
Yeah, 'cause there's people that and I'm not sitting here like trying to like suck our own dick, dude, but like I feel like we put out a pretty good product if you're into that. Like, you know, if you're into like two dudes just bullshitting, I feel like we put out a pretty decent product, but I'm like, there's people out there that I listen to that aren't that good, but they're killing it. It's about like the circles you're around. Like if you have a built-in audience whenever you start your podcast. And I feel some type of way like when I see like celebrities starting podcasts. I'm
I
like,
hate
hey,
it.
hey, y'all need to fuck off, man. Leave this shit for us.
They're-
You know,
they-
you feel some type of way about that too?
Yeah, but I think that's already kind of going away because they gave all this money out to those people. And
Mm-hmm.
again, Rogan only was the one
He's
that
the
stood
only
the
one.
test of time. Even the
Mhm.
president of the United States got booted.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you're good, but it also doesn't mean you're going to suck. Some of them probably do really good, but I don't want to hear that. I hate, that's what I hate about it is I find out what type of person you are and then I despise you. And most actors are fucking
They
lame.
suck.
They're
Yeah.
boring outside of being really good at acting, and they're shitty. And
They're good at one thing, you know.
yeah, and you know who's really fucked with my head is Steve-O. He's gotten, I don't know. He's gotten annoying to me.
Really?
I'm like, come on, dude.
Who's your dream guest, bro? You could pick somebody. Like, who would you love to sit here and bullshit for like 2 hours?
Shane Gillis.
Shane,
Yeah,
he's my favorite comedian.
I would, outside of like not a serious one, him, but
Because he's a bro.
that's why
Like, I love
I
that
would
dude,
love to
yeah,
just shoot
yeah.
the shit and drink some Bud Lights with him. But a serious one, honestly, I'm not even lying. Barack Obama.
Really?
I would like to break down that barrier of the deep state and the politics and see who the real.
You think he could take off his cool? Like, he could just.
He wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
He's always on duty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would be. Even if he did, they would be like, "You got to delete that."
Yeah.
So I always think about those sort of people, even like local people here, like the Gorilla Dude.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would have been awesome, but he would be that character.
He's got.
I don't know him, but
Yeah.
I feel like it would just be that character.
Yeah.
And I want to know why that character came to be. I would like. So I went to school with Bart Rager's son.
Okay.
So I loved Bart Rager.
Mm-hmm.
I know he did bad things. He would have been a cool one for me. I was like, please. But then he went to jail. But
Hey, well, he'll get at it at some point, man. By then, you'll be at the top of the charts. You know what I'm saying?
people would hate me. Dude, I interviewed a fucking conservative guy whose episode just dropped. So if you want to check it out, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And they almost ate me alive for that.
Really?
So come on now.
Really?
Kind of, yeah.
Is this
This is a
city
fucking-
that left?
Well, I guess the people I follow are.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Maybe I'm just in this. Little,
I had a whole bunch of people voice their support for him. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then, like the people that because I frequent those sort of alternate. I hate that word, alternative bars and shit.
Mhm.
In that crowd,
that vibe. Yeah.
like the First Friday vibe. I enjoy that. It's cool.
Mhm.
But those people, they
weren't
tend to
feeling it.
lean
Yeah.
another way, and they weren't feeling it. So
And I always say, like, we can disagree on politics and still be cool. Like, we can still. Like,
you would think, right?
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, yeah. Because, I never gave a shit about politics until I started getting into like conspiracies so much. They merged, man.
Yeah.
It got to where like they kind of like they just one thing led to the next, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm paying attention to politics. Like I never gave a shit about politics.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
don't really give a shit about like the federal and the state. I'm paying attention to Lubbock.
Well,
shit,
local
just
is
'cause
what
it's
it affects you, man.
It does
Yeah,
affect all
yeah,
of us,
yeah.
and it's been pretty interesting because I'm getting to know these people. So,
Mhm.
even then, the bureaucracy exists there.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting to see. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's crazy. But like,
it's just gonna be
have
everywhere
you?
you go.
So you've gotten into like Skull and Bones
Fuck yeah, dude.
and all these people and
Dude, one time my wife walked in on me. So we have an office room in the back, and I was there on the computer. And I had a legal pad, dude. And I'm there in front of the computer. If the light's off, and I'm just jotting shit down. And she walks in, and I'll turn around. I'm like, hey, what's up? She said, what are you doing? She thought I was watching porn. I'm like, oh, I'm just doing some research. And she's like, what? So she walks in, turns the light on, and sure enough, dude, I was doing research on like the Knights Templar and all that shit. And she's like, why? I'm like, just because it's interesting. Like, I get into all that shit.
I think we should, us Christians should take back Israel. But can you can you tell me about like the Knights Templar? I really have, I heard about the Second Crusade. That's all I've gotten into.
Yeah, they were just kind of a group of people that
they would escort you.
Exactly,
right?
And that they got very wealthy doing that.
And the Pope was like, "No, sir."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty
so
much.
So what happened when they disappeared? Did they disappear?
No,
what did they become? The Freemasons.
The Freemasons, and then like they just kind of they like our banking systems kind of came from that too, where they would like fractional reserve banking, where like they would keep so much gold or whatever in one spot and give you a receipt when you got to the next spot, so you wouldn't travel with all this gold. And like it was a hustle, man. It's always been a hustle, and that's how they got wealthy. They
used to like cut your belly open because they thought you would. So that's why they needed escorts, because the Muslims were taxing you basically to travel to the Holy Land, and if they suspected you swallowed gold,
I didn't know that
they would cut your belly open.
No shit.
There's some stories, but yeah.
That stuff just interests me, man. Like history. I wish I gave a shit about history when it counted when I was in school, but I could care less. But now I just love it, man. Like, all that stuff.
Would you be a Freemason?
Nah, man.
Why not?
Because I feel like you have to renounce your faith in Christ whenever you do that, and that's not something I'm ever willing to do.
Really?
I've heard that. Well, to be a Freemason, you have to believe in a higher power, in a whatever, whatever your religion is. But I mean, I've known people that are Freemasons. They're great people. I just feel like they do a lot of good stuff. But I think when you get to the higher levels is whenever it comes, it gets
just like anything, huh?
Yeah, man. Because I've heard, so like, when you get to the higher levels of like Freemasonry, you got to make a choice. They're like, you spit on a cross and renounce your faith. And if you do that, you move up. If you don't, they tell you, good job, you passed. You never move up. You know what I mean? I don't know how true it is. It's just, one of those freaking rabbit holes I went down.
Oh my gosh.
I get it though, because like,
you have to be 100% to them type of shit.
It's a gnarly world, man.
It is. It's a fun world. I love it.
Do you think that shit goes on in like the music industry? Like there's gatekeepers?
It used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know how much anymore, but yeah, I don't see why not.
There's a video I watched, this dude named John Todd, and apparently he's like a descendant from one of these like families, these Illuminati families, right?
Jesus Christ.
And this was like in the late 60s, early 70s. He became a Christian, and he's like telling all their secrets. And he was part of some rock company, a music company back then, like the 70s. And he was saying that when they get the masters of like, he was a witch, right? And so when they get the masters of whatever album they're doing, they would do like a satanic ritual over it and put it out to the masses. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Is that where like you do it backwards and you hear like
stuff
weird
like
shit?
That? Yeah, man. I don't know.
Dude, my friend Bradley, he showed me one. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Led Zeppelin.
That's one of the most famous ones.
Is that one?
Stairway to Heaven.
That's the one, yeah.
That's
that
a
was
real famous
creepy.
one.
Have you ever heard Lil Wayne's?
No.
So he has a song called I Feel Like Dying, which is a fucking creepy song as it is. If you do it backwards, it says, we are in the ground beneath you.
Really?
Dude, I was like 12 years old. My brother showed me that, and I was like...
Did you ever see the video of 6'7", where they had like the skeletons?
The Dark Knight?
Is that what it was? Because there was, you're right. It had the skeletons in the...
That might have been where my conspiracy started, because this person put out like a 12-minute video of that, and I was...
In the movie theater, right? It had the skeletons in the movie
theater.
They had
the exact amount.
Like, what the hell is that about, dude?
And it was from like weird other shit. That like he was like a bat. I don't...
Weird shit. And then on the movie Dark Knight, like there's something on the map that says Sandy Hook.
I couldn't.
You might want to bleep that out, dude. I know that's a hot take, to say that word right now. But
shout out to Alex Jones.
Yeah,
Jesus
man.
Christ. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there was and then there was like another scene where you could see like a all-seeing eye. Oh God.
Do you think people do that on purpose just to get people talking?
I think
about
so.
it, right?
Me and Bradley talked about that. I was like, it would be fun just to fuck with people and
That's
do
what I'm
something
saying.
like that. Probably.
Yeah, they're like, look at these crazy conspiracy theories.
I
think so,
because
too.
they have their ears on the ground, like watching YouTube.
That's
they
their
probably
job,
have they probably have like a team of people. Like
that's literally their job.
What is the podcast saying? What are these people like? Oh yeah, well we'll throw that in there just to fuck with
What's going to
them.
go viral? What's going to get clicks? Yeah, there was a video of 2 Chainz talking about that one time. He was being, I think it was when he was on he had a show on Vice maybe, and back when Vice was badass. I used to love
awesome.
Vice. Yeah, but he was talking about how like, man, yeah, they put all this shit in videos. He goes, but it's not the artist. He goes, it's the people doing the creative directors behind the scenes that sprinkle shit in because they know it's going to get people talking.
Like Disney.
Yeah,
Disney
dude.
will do that just to fuck with you, probably.
Yeah, and it just gets people talking about it on podcasts.
Just like pervs, it'll throw.
I think about that sometimes, man, because like if you realize how many times you have to draw the same image over and over, back in the day you do the little flip books and make the little dude run or whatever, right? The stick figure run. You have to draw it 20, 30, 40, 50 times to make them just walk up the street. So they're doing these things, drawing these dicks or whatever in the scenes multiple. It's not an accident. They're doing that crap on purpose.
Yeah, they just do it just to probably have fun.
Scandalous.
Looking at Walt Disney, that's a creepy one.
Have you heard that conspiracy theory about like Frozen?
What about it?
I forgot. There's a name for it, dude. But there's a theory that Walt Disney's body is frozen.
Oh yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, but there's a theory out there that they made the cartoon Frozen so that if you ever Google Walt Disney or Disney Frozen, the movie or the movie comes up instead of the shit about Walt Disney being frozen. It might be a reach, but I've heard that shit.
There was a guy who. So I have 2 things on Taylor Swift. This was funny. There was a guy who named his sweater. He was a designer.
Mm-hmm.
He named it her album, one of her songs or something.
Mm-hmm.
So when you search that song,
Tight move.
he was the first one that came up.
That's a
So
tight
he
move.
sold out quick. And this one's stupid as shit, but it's funny because she has like controversy with her private jets. So they were saying that she went to the Jets game so that when you search Taylor Swift jet, it would be her at the football game, not her flying.
It's a tight move. Because they're like all these like they want to talk about like your footprint and stuff, but then they're in private jets. That might be a tight move, man.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I think there's a name. They're called. I want to say they're called like Google bombs or some shit like that. Is when they do stuff like that. Like, there's that Operation Fast and the Furious. Whenever Obama gave all these guns to the narcos and all that. Did you ever hear about that? Because they're trying to. So they gave a bunch of guns and stuff like that to the people in Mexico. All the cartels, because they wanted to track who was handling where these guns were going. And it was called Operation Fast and the Furious. But they're saying that that's why they made these movies so popular, so that when you Google Fast and the Furious, the movies come up. I don't know, man.
I mean, they got the money. They got the money to push the algorithm, so why not?
Yeah.
Or they have the power to do it. So.
I feel like it'd be a lot easier.
Dude, I learned about that in school. They were like, if you have like a bad image online, the only way to beat it is to have good things.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I went to jail when I was 19, and I was like, if you search my name, you'll see my mugshot. So how do I?
You gotta bury that shit.
You gotta bury it deep within. You can't get rid of it.
You'll bury that, but your sex tape comes up
I
instead.
don't give a fuck about that. But they have to search my legal name, and that is a secret.
Really?
It's redacted.
No shit. Tight move.
Now people know it.
Oh, I was like,
I
no,
don't
that's
know.
cool.
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. It's not Roy. I'll tell you that.
No shit. I didn't know that. The more you
so
know.
It's a secret.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think like conspiracies are fun, but I do believe a lot of them. I do. I do.
I go back and forth.
Like my dream guest would probably be like Eddie Bravo.
Oh my
Love
god,
that dude, man.
He'd be crazy.
Dude, for a little while, I don't know if he still does, but he followed me on Instagram. Like where we would bullshit back and forth, on some conspiracy shit. Well, it's happened twice, where we would interact. But I was like, that's cool for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think he's an interesting cat.
I think he's tamed though, isn't he? Tamed now.
He's pretty laid back.
He's
Yeah,
just
he's pretty
chilling
chill.
now. He's old and doing his jujitsu.
But like when he was going off, man, like I love that shit. Because like to him, everything was a conspiracy.
Yeah, he lost me at Earth is flat and space isn't real.
Really?
You lose me at that. That's when you lose me.
You're going to tell me to leave, dude, because I'm on the fence about it.
Space?
No bullshit.
Or what?
About Earth being... Yeah, man.
Come on, dude.
I'm one of those.
You can prove that.
I know.
You can prove... I mean, I get thinking space isn't real because nobody, you can't go there.
So I'll discredit everything I've said this entire episode just by that statement. I'm not saying I think it's flat. I'm willing to bet that NASA bullshits us a lot. I'll leave it at that.
Oh my God.
You know what
Obviously,
I mean?
Yes.
Like if you had a gun to my head and I had to say is the Earth flat or round, I don't know what I would say.
I don't think we filmed the moon landing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went, but I think Kubrick filmed it.
Yeah.
Also heard this idea that we were going to go to the moon. So they were like, hey, you need to make this movie about space. So like, if we go to space and we see aliens, like how are the people going to react?
Mm-hmm.
So make a movie, predictive programming.
Right.
Pretty much. I don't know if you've ever gotten into that.
Oh, yeah.
Civil War.
Yeah, dude.
But that's what they say that they're doing with aliens is they're slowly seeping it into our
to where it's not a big
daily
deal.
thing. Because if tomorrow you were to say aliens are real and they're here, and people be like, I'm not going to work. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal anymore. Nobody's
going
to freak out.
They're just slowly like easing us into it. So like, if aliens are real, does that change your view on Christianity?
Nah. No, because like one of my favorite shows is Ancient Aliens. I love that show, dude. I don't miss it. I even went when they had that thing here in Lubbock.
Yeah, that's where that poster's from.
Oh shit, you were there?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was there. I loved it, man. I was just nerding out to that shit. But like the way what makes that show so much better for me is like anytime they say like alien, I always think fallen angel, and it just makes so much more sense to me. Under that just like that, like I wouldn't bug out.
Jesus is an astronaut, man.
That's what I'm telling you, bro.
No, in all seriousness, if aliens are real, that would be like my question would be like, first of all, do you have like is there any sort of do we have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Comparison, I don't know, compatibility with them. Do we love, do they experience emotions? Do they have emotions? Do they have art, love and shit? And if so, or did they form religions? That would be like my question. Like, because I mean, if aliens were real, they only strengthen my idea in God. To be completely honest, you could tell me Jesus isn't real, and I'd still believe in God, but it would only strengthen my faith in all of this.
Right.
But why wouldn't they have a Messiah in any other? Because what if they like? Because that's another thing. I've been trying to figure out how to formulate this. Like, is there some formality across the universe in terms of like life? Does it come to be the same way here as it does all the way across the universe, across the galaxy? Yeah, maybe that their terrain is a little bit different, so they form a little bit different, and they have element 115, so they were able to master space travel like the way we did steam engines.
Right. Have you heard the theory that that's what like the beings you see as these little green aliens are what humans evolved to? Like they don't need sex organs or all these different things. That's an interesting take, man.
Shit, what if the fucking spaceship is them? Their mind is the fucking spaceship, There's so many goddamn ideas, but...
What do you think about like the Anunnaki stuff?
I haven't really got into it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Our love for gold and slavery.
Yeah, man.
But who was the people that created them?
They're
like the second... There's like a sub-tier of them, right?
There's like the Watchers, I guess, with like... Pretty much like the fallen angels, man.
See, because I got into because they were giants. So I got into that one.
Yeah, the Nephilim.
Because I got into the Afghan giant. Have you ever got into that? Yeah, I got into that one. Yeah. So I was like, well, that makes sense. Like, it's from that region. Red hair.
Like 6 digits, red hair, giants. Yeah, man. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like everything's descendants from like these bloodlines are descendants from like those fallen angels. That's what I really think. If I had to bet money on it, that's
so you think those are the fallen angels?
Yeah.
The Anunnaki and
I think they're all like offspring of it. I don't know, man. I don't know where to go with that though, because
But where do they come from?
that's what I'm like. I feel like when you start looking into like those Anunnaki, it deviates from like Christianity. So I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it, but at the same time, I feel like the Bibles we read that we have access to, they've left a lot out.
That's what I was
They've
going to
taken a
say.
lot out.
Does it deviate because of by purpose? Like, did they make it to where like,
Yeah,
no, you don't
man.
need to know about this?
Yeah, that's what all that stuff is in the Vatican archives, man. Like the real truth.
Yeah, man. I mean, it'd be cool, even if like they told me I'm a byproduct of acceleration,
Mm-hmm.
or that they created us. Who still wouldn't can, because like who created? You remember when he said that? Like you find out where they come from, and then you find out who created them. And the further you go,
Right.
you get to creation. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
somebody created them.
So have you ever heard of like gap theory? So it's kind of like following along what you're talking about. So like in the Bible, it talks about like, there's Genesis 1. And then from Genesis 1 to Genesis 2, there could be a billion years in that gap. And like that's when you hear about like the dinosaurs. You hear about like these giants roaming around. There's like the Viemanas they talk about in Ancient Aliens. There's like these wars going on in the heavens, all this stuff.
Yeah.
All this shit could have happened like right in that gap. It could be billions of years for all we know. And then Genesis 2 starts, and that's where the time starts, like our time. It's interesting, man. It's pretty interesting stuff.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I just hope when I die, I find out all about what the fuck is
dude.
going on. That's what they say, mushrooms and DMT, and that it gives you a glimpse into that shit.
I know, man. I'm too afraid to even try
You
it,
get to
bro.
experience God.
Yep.
What do you think God is?
Dude, that's a heavy question, man. I've never thought of that.
Because there was a guy again on Rogan that was like, he said he's trying to prove God exists through math, and he had like the idea that either God came from somewhere else, God created the universe, and that one was weird. It was like he just came from somewhere else, and the universe was already here. He created the universe, or he is the universe.
That probably makes the most sense. I don't know, because it's like dude, since I was little, I would ask like, okay, if God, who made God? And then
That's what it gets
the person
weird,
that
eh?
made God, who made him?
It gets funny.
Dude, I'll have panic attacks, dude.
I used to too, man.
Yeah, man,
I
just
still
thinking about
might
that
do
shit, bro.
shit.
And I just like, I don't know. I just like kind of block it out, because, dude, I'll have full-blown panic attacks at night laying down sometimes thinking about that. That and like the concept of forever. When you start thinking about forever, it'll bug me out if I let it, dude.
So
it will,
weird.
man. Yeah.
I saw like a little clip of they say in, I don't know, a couple billion years, our galaxy is going to collide with the Andromeda galaxy.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard that.
Billion. Oh, it's going to happen because they're
inevitable.
They're moving towards each other at a crazy rate, but
Mhm.
it's going to take billions of years. This is the idea of like what happens
And
after.
then when it finally happens.
I mean,
what?
they say the universe is. This is what I actually do. They say the universe will expand because even the universe has a finite amount of energy. So once that energy is used up, it'll just cease to exist.
And then what?
Well, they think that one theory I heard was it expands so big that it can't hold itself no more, so it comes back to a single dot. Then it goes again. Then it goes. So we're living through a moment, through it, like this moment right here is the moment for eternity. Then the next moment's the,
Fuck, dude.
So it's like this guy was like a philosopher was saying. So
He was on Rogan?
No, I don't even
somebody else.
remember.
Okay.
But the idea was like
It's hard to grasp. Man.
So the idea, he was a philosopher, so he was like, his explanation was like, you can't grasp that. So the only thing that matters is right now.
Hey, that's easy enough for me.
That really eased me.
Yeah.
It's like, if the universe keeps going, you die, it expands, and it comes back to a single moment and births you again, you're going to experience this moment forever and ever, every moment forever. The only moment that matters is now.
Have you ever heard of it's called I want to say it's called like solipsism or something like solipsism. It's pretty much, so okay, there's this book I listened to, man, and it was this guy was talking about a doctor did an experiment because he wanted to know if there was life after death. And so he was taking like a combination. He hired somebody to help him do it. And he took a combination of like ketamine and some other shit to where it would slow his heart rate down enough to where he would die, but they would be able to revive him, right? And so he does this experiment, dies, comes back, and he's freaking out. And he tells the assistant or whatever, he goes, I can't tell you what he goes, I spoke to God. And this is a true story. He's like, I can't tell you what it is because you'll go crazy. He goes, he couldn't grasp it or whatever. So what he was saying that God told him when he died is that he's the only one that exists, that we are all made up.
I've heard this.
You've heard that. I think that's what it's called, solipsism or some shit like that.
This fucking YouTube video I saw
Really?
freaked me the fuck out. It's
That
this idea
bugged
that
me out. He made up.
is that, hey, the garage is open. So that I seen that the idea of like the God experiences everything through us, through me, through you, and that kind of can explain why bad things happen to people because he's experiencing everything he created through us,
The good and the bad.
yeah. So and then I saw a YouTube channel where it's like when you die you go up, you meet him, and he's like, I'm you, you're me. I'm going to send you back to Earth as a 15th century peasant now. You're going to experience that. You're going to come back until it's all done. Man.
Oh, man.
But I mean, I don't know about all that, but
it's
I
so
do
interesting.
like the
It's
idea that
interesting.
he is all of us and we are him, and he's experiencing everything through us. Why not? That's cool.
Yeah.
So we are, I mean, that's what a lot of people say. We are gods.
We're made in his image,
We come from it.
That bugged me
To
out,
that
though.
we return.
Yeah, it bugged me out when I heard that because just saying I made you up, I made me up, I made my wife up, so that I wouldn't be alone, and it's a real thing. And so this dude in this book, he was talking about how he told 3 people that everybody that he told that went insane, and it's a true story, dude. Some wild shit.
There's a guy that was on Theo Vaughn's podcast that talked about near-death experiences. And they tell him what they've experienced, and it's like bliss and peace, and he's basically like, yeah, I believe there's an afterlife, but I don't know, man. What if this is all what you believe?
I think about that sometimes, man, because as Christians, we're taught that reincarnation is not real. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like they could be real. I feel like you just keep coming back until you get it right.
That sounds a lot like what we just said.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like there might be something to it.
But what happens when all that's done? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Yeah, see, it goes back to where
he
you
experiences all of it, and he's like, all right, well, what if he's like, on to the next one? Then you get into parallel universes and multiple universes.
You know what comforts me when I think about it? Because I have these. I think about this shit all the time, just for fun, just to drive myself crazy. And I'm like, my ideal, first of all, we can't understand it because we can't think like God thinks. We think like humans. But I'm like, if I had it my way, it gives me comfort to think let's say I died and I'm living my life as me, as Jonathan. And then I die, I come back, and I'm me again. It just resets, but we don't have any memory of it. You know what I mean? You just reset, live your life again, try to get it right this time, and then we just don't remember.
But what if that's like what I was saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That gives me comfort thinking that.
Every moment,
yeah,
you've already lived.
Yeah,
forever.
It's a little easier to think about it that way.
And it makes me.
Make your brain hurt.
It freaks me out. It makes me hopeful for something else after we die. I mean, this can't be it. Jesus Christ. That would suck.
I mean, it's cool for us because we live cool lives, but imagine somebody in Tijuana doing donkey shows,
Yeah, it makes you think about that too, though. How lucky are we?
Damn, well, they must have did it wrong in their lifetime where this is what they're doing, this is how they came back,
Tijuana. Have you seen that?
I've heard of them, dude. I'm all good.
I don't.
Some things you just can't unsee. I'm all good. I remember seeing 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Oh, God. My brother showed me that.
Dude, I could smell the video. You know what I mean? It's the worst thing I've ever seen. And I grew up watching Faces of Death and stuff when I was little, I don't get shocked that easy, but I remember seeing that and I was just like, all right, I'm all good.
Yeah, I don't really get shocked much either. I mean, I literally just saw a guy get his head cut off and they were parading his head around. That was pretty gnarly.
And that was just on Twitter?
Mm-hmm. I saw another video yesterday of cartel. They left these disembodied members. They disembodied 2 people and all you see is like a torso and legs around him, and then like his head of it.
And it's still going down like that over there, bro.
Yeah,
That's
man.
wild. That was their website you used to be able to go to back in the day called it was in Spanish though, and it's called like Narco Cultura or something like that, where had all that shit. It was like YouTube but for narco
They
shit.
just post that shit.
Yeah, it was years ago. I doubt it. I'd be surprised if it's still up, but
I saw one recently. They were trying to cut this guy's head off, but the knife wasn't working.
just shoot that
It was
poor
a,
dude.
you know,
man.
that's what he said. He's like, you could see him. I don't speak Spanish. So he was just like, and so they were like, fuck it. And they just shot him in the head.
Dang.
Yeah.
See, but that's just evil, man. That's a whole other type of
That's the
evil.
absence of God.
100%. 100%.
You know,
dude.
have you heard about them? And they're like, I hate talking about them. Scares me. They're like, their worship of the death
the Santa Muerte
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah.
and their altars that they've built
Yeah.
for that.
Bro, so a friend of mine, he worked for the sheriff's department years ago, and he was saying they did like a bust on an apartment here in Lubbock, and that he walked in and they had all that shit, like in a whole room with like all that stuff, and he was like, it was like legit stuff. He goes, I had no idea that it was going down like that here in Lubbock.
Yeah, it's a
So-
fucking it's an epicenter here. Yeah, I always thought about that because speaking of like good and light, like think about a priest. He devotes his life to consecrating the body and the blood. Like he truly believes that, and as Catholics, you truly
Believe it, yeah.
So if you believe that, then through the intercession of the divine, he's actually doing that. And so and that takes years and a whole dedication of your life and energy and time to do that. To be able to do that, technically through the church. Now, what's the opposite of that?
Yeah.
What are those people? They're devoting their life, their energy, their time. That's the laws of physics. There has to be an opposite to that.
Duality.
What are these fucking people devoting on the other side? You know what I mean? Like, what are they capable of? That's
Yeah,
what
man.
scares me too.
Yeah.
Dude, one time I was cleaning out this church that we do not too far. I found a chicken head outside the church. It fucking scared the shit out of me.
Really?
I didn't touch it. I was like, my boss, he didn't give a fuck. And it had no
And you know
business.
what is?
Yeah, it had no
what it's there
business
for.
being there because there was no like yards where there was chickens. It's all like buildings, and there was a few residentials. across
Like
the
it didn't
street.
end up there by chance.
There was no reason for it
Yeah.
to be there, and it was fresh. It wasn't like, so like.
Dude, I remember being in like elementary. We would hang out at this. Do you know where Aslan Park is? Like over in the like Guadalupe neighborhood.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's where I grew up, and we were hanging out there. There's like a little creek, man. And I remember, just fucking around as kids. We found a frog, a dead frog, with its mouth sewn shut and its stomach sewn shut. And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like, we didn't think anything of it. And I remember telling my mom, she goes, y'all need to stay away from there. There's some, what's it called? Like brujeria. There's
Yeah.
that's
I've
stuff
heard
going
about
on, man.
There being a witch near some apartments. I don't know if it's the same ones you're talking about.
Really, dude.
I
That
heard-
stuff's real, man.
I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck with it at all because it is real. Because if you believe in like Christianity and all
There's
that,
both sides.
like the saints and shit, it's like, well, other people are devoting their time to other shit. So.
Bro, I hear there's a lady that's in she lives in Rawls, Texas.
Is that where it is?
I've heard about this lady. Like, she's got a line of people out there waiting to go, and like, I guess she reads their palm. I don't know what she does, man, but like, she's one of those.
I've heard about that.
You've
I
heard
didn't-
about it, right?
I didn't know it was in Rolls.
Yeah, it's in Rawls.
I wanted
man.
to go over there and track her down and talk to her.
That'd be kind of dope, man.
I think it
That would be
I
dope.
wouldn't want her to do anything on me, but
Just to kind of pick her brain.
yeah,
And,
it'd be cool. I don't know though. I feel like I feel like those type of people are good at manipulation and getting in your head, and I'm easily
job.
influenced. So I'd be like,
Hey, don't bring her over here though, bro. Go do it over there.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would never bring the energy over here.
Dude, I'm a bit like, because I love scary movies. Love them. My wife does not like me to watch scary movies at the house, because she's like, you bring that stuff home, or, like I'm a sneakerhead. I collect sneakers. I'm always buying sneakers off like eBay or StockX or whatever. But when I get a pair of shoes, and especially like off of eBay, when somebody's selling them to me or whatever, I bring them home and I bless them. I pray over them. Anything that I bring to my house, I pray over, because, man, you don't know
Makes
what kind of
sense.
home that's coming from.
Damn, that makes sense. Yeah.
There's like can be attachments to this stuff, and I don't know how true this is, but I've heard like that's like when you see people, they I know like a lot of like Indian people, they leave their shoes outside
That's what I was just
because
thinking.
they don't want to bring this stuff
The
in.
bad spirit.
Yeah, man.
Bro, I collect. I mean, I don't collect. I have a lot of vintage clothes. Goddamn, I should start blessing my shit before I bring it in this house.
I do, man. I do. I do
couldn't
that,
even
bro.
Think about that.
I have my little holy water, sprinkle it, and I pray over
What if
it.
it just burns?
Well, good thing you got rid of it, dude. But that's the problem, man. Because like I love scary movies, and my wife's like, man, I feel like you don't need to be bringing that negative stuff into the house.
I don't mean any disrespect. You lose, because I've heard a lot of people say that, like through a movie, you lose me on that. It's just,
I get it.
It's just a movie, but
I'm like, well, then I'll just go watch it at the movie theater. It's all good. We'll leave it over there.
That's probably worse.
More people
That's
like in one concentrated area.
That film's delivered from where it was produced straight to the movie. You know? It's not like it's being streamed.
Yeah, well, shit. But I don't know.
I mean, I get it though.
I do it because it's not. You got to pick.
So, have you ever played with a Ouija board or anything?
Dude, I've been around people playing with it when I was younger. It's not for me, bro. It's like, dude, so the crazy story, man. We're, it's like in junior high, we'd play like sandlot baseball. We'd go to the school and just, play baseball. Well, some people brought over, they have like those barracks outside of the elementaries. Some people brought a Ouija board over, man, and we're like, oh shit, let's check it out. And so I didn't want anything to do with it, but I was curious, And so they're playing with it, and it spells out. They're asking it who are we talking to, right? And it spelled out Colgate. I was like, that's weird, it's toothpaste. And it's a weird thing to spell out. And so they just kind of got to talking about it. Like, so where I grew up, there's a bunch of like Northsiders, right? That was like the gangs growing up where I'm from, And I don't know if this guy was an actual Northsider, but he's from like the Arnett Benson area. This guy that I'm talking about, he got killed at a club breaking up a fight. And so there's a mural painted for him on Colgate Street. And so when these guys that were doing the Ouija board, they were Northsiders. And so they're like talking to it, and it spelled out Colgate. And I didn't think anything at the time, but like in hindsight, I'm like, man, this kind of correlates a little bit. Like there's this mural of this dude was a Northsider. There's a mural of him on Colgate Street, and then this thing spelling out Colgate. It might be a reach, but I just remember seeing it, and it kind of bugged me out. I'm like, damn, yeah.
I've never even seen one. I will never even touch one. Now, see, I don't really follow the Catholic faith anymore, but that still sticks with me. I'm like, no, I won't do nothing.
Yeah, you don't mess with those, dude. I listened to a podcast called The Dark Paranormal, and so many of the stories are where people start messing with Ouija boards, dude. And it's like
The Exorcist.
Don't start, none won't be none. You know what I mean? But I like being like this kind of like, dude. I want to meet somebody that really knows how to navigate the dark web.
Ooh.
Because I just want to see what's
It's not hard. It's not illegal to get on there.
No, I mean, because that's how like Bitcoin started,
You
like
a tarot browser.
Yeah, but I don't want shit to do with it. I just want to poke around and be like, not for the nasty shit.
I wonder how much of it's like scams and how much of it's real.
That's what I'm kind of curious, because I was like, dude, I'm going to go buy a car, man. Can I find somebody that'll give me like an 800 credit score before I go do this on the dark web?
You probably find that without the dark web.
Yeah, probably. But, just shit like that because I forgot the name of this rapper. I want his name's Daylight. You ever heard of Daylight? But it was either him or Hobson, one of those two dudes, man. No racist. But
Jesus.
But he was talking about how he had he would fuck around on the dark web, but he would like buy grenades and shit like that.
Yeah, that's what moves me.
Yeah, but I want to kind of just be looking over somebody's shoulder while they're on there messing around, just looking around. I don't want to mess around with
my friend bought some drugs off. I don't remember which drugs, and he left it out. Like, so they delivered it to his house, and he left it there for a few days. He was like, "Fuck this! I'm not leaving my house. I'm not touching that bag, that box." And lo and behold, he's like, it's been a few days. I'm good." As soon as he went out to get it, they arrested his ass.
No shit.
Yeah, I think it was Molly, something like that.
And he got her off the dark web.
Yeah, that's how he was ordering it. That's how I heard about Bitcoin too. It was from there. And I should have invested.
Dude, no
$10.
Bro.
$10. I remember when it was $10.
Did you hear about that dude that ordered pizza and paid with Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
God, could you imagine how much, like, it's worth a shit.
I saw a clip of a guy who was trying to buy an apartment, I think about 2015. He was trying to buy an apartment for $1.5 million. That's how much the Bitcoin was. That's how much it would have bought him a $1.5 million apartment. And the amount of Bitcoin that it was at that time, what it would have been today, 450 million.
God, dude. It's just one of those things, man. Because I remember hearing about it back then.
I remember because
you too, because we probably listened to a lot of the same podcasts.
Well, my friends were delinquents and they were buying drugs.
Oh, so that's no shit.
That's the
only way you could buy stuff. Yeah.
So they were just using it to transaction for drugs.
Because I remember hearing about it years ago, dude.
I
Like
was
from a
in-
podcast.
I was a sophomore.
And they were like,
And my friend is like, you want to buy some Bitcoin? $10. I was like, I don't even know how to buy it.
yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's way beyond my like I'll buy shit, but like cryptocurrencies off of like just apps and stuff. It's
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
It's like $70,000 now, a Bitcoin.
Do you think that's where we're going?
Yeah, but how do you use it? You know, you can't go to the store, and there has to be like a major change in our financial institution.
I feel like we're heading that way.
It's
man.
That's also scary. Like you
It is.
don't want to central, because then you can freeze my bank account for saying something stupid.
Do you watch Black Mirror?
Yeah.
So there's that episode, you know, whenever like with the social credit scores.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what it is, man. It's
It's,
exactly what it is, and like that show is like so ahead of its time. Like,
Yeah, man, they
You know?
predicted a lot of shit. I hate that show, man, because it spooks me out.
it's so good though, dude. It's so good. I didn't really like the last season. We had a few good episodes, but
I don't even
the
know.
one
if
with
I
like
watched-
Miley Cyrus.
That
Yeah.
was annoying.
Yeah, I
that
went on
annoyed
that.
the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But yeah, it freaks me out, dude. Whenever they start talking about like social credit scores and like cryptocurrency, I'm like, but dude, I like not to like dump the Bible all episode.
Uh-oh.
The Bible talks about that, man. You know, like there's gonna be a one world government. You know, like you're gonna have a mark of the beast where you can't buy, sell, or trade without.
they
having
really
this.
do want a one world government. It seems like the globalist agenda.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Control the food source. Look what's happening in Ukraine.
Depopulation.
Depopulation.
Yeah, because it's easier. Like if the population's like you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones.
I think so.
So like they're in like just out in the middle of nowhere in like Atlanta, like a suburb of Atlanta. There's these big ass tablets, and they're like the Illuminati's 10 Commandments, and it's like their goals, what they want to do, and it's like in 8 different languages, and the main goal is like to get population down to 500 million. That's what the goal is, like the main one. And you think about it, there's almost 8 billion people in the world, and they want to narrow it down to 500
There's almost
million.
400 million in America. Jesus.
And so that's the goal, and like, dude, they're doing it with food.
Well, you know,
wars,
it's crazy. There's
all
a lot
this
of
shit.
there's a lot of countries facing depopulation right now. They're not having kids for whatever reason.
Yeah, man. It's all done.
It's ooky spooky, man. Oh my god.
My
Well,
bad, dude. I'm freaking you out on this episode, but I just love conspiracies and
No,
all that
the
shit. You know, I
to
could
talk
just-
about the Ouija board freaked me out. I was like,
Did it really?
"Ooh," that shit scares me, man. I get all creeped out of my
It is
mind.
freaky stuff, man. It freaked me out.
I thought I heard something. I was like, that was my dog.
Nah, it's not something I mess with, bro.
I don't
But
either. I'm a child of God.
same. We're
Yeah.
young Christian warriors,
Yes. But, tell the people about your podcast, where they can follow you.
Yeah, man, thanks.
If they're still listening.
Dude, I might have lost everybody when I said I might be a flat earther.
Yeah,
Dude, they might have tuned out.
You lost me.
It's all good. Man. It's all good. I'm not committed to it, but I can be persuaded.
All right.
Put it that
We'll
way.
get you back on
Yeah.
this other side.
Yeah, man. So check out everybody on John Eric Media. We my buddy Eric and I do the Pundejos. We drop on every Friday morning. We've got a show for every day of the week, pretty much for like just a little bit of something for everybody. And then I started doing my own show, Ramos and Friends Radio, where it's kind of a spin-off of what me and Eric do on the Pundejos. But I do like because I like to talk shit, you know, just be a clown. But I also like to get into Christianity and stuff that's not really for the Pundejos podcast, you know. And so I was like, well, I'll just do my own show where we can get into like some serious stuff, you know. And so I started Ramos and Friends Radio because I wanted to kind of make it like a radio show, but as a podcast, you know. So I play the music, the commercials, and stuff in between.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You know, I'll play like different funny like TikToks that I laughed at or whatever. I keep it pretty fun, but you know, it's I like to get into some serious stuff every now and then. I'm only 6 episodes in.
Okay.
So I made it past the 4. They say if most podcasts don't make it past 4 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's what they said. So you're good. You're good.
You got to make it 3 years now. I heard 3-year mark.
Yeah, man, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see, bro.
So,
So, yeah,
it's all
man.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
It's on all streaming platforms.
Just audio.
Yeah, just audio for now at least. We'll figure it
I'm
out.
going to have to come over and hop on y'all's podcast.
Yeah, man,
when I do 'em all.
you're always welcome to come
Hell
on,
yeah.
man. Yeah, definitely, dude. And I thank you for having me on.
Oh, this is awesome.
It's a good time. Yeah, yeah. With like people listening, I've
Yeah.
never met you. You know what? This is my first time
This
meeting
was
you.
the
We
first
just been bullshitting back
We've been
and forth.
sending each other memes and shit.
Yeah.
I did your podcast, but you weren't there.
Yeah,
So.
had to work. Working
Yeah.
man's a sucker.
But yeah, man, I'll hop on y'all soon, and hopefully we can get you on Thursday or some other Thursday.
For sure, man.
Thank you, dude. And
thanks for having me, man.
check out patreon.com/snakepitstudios. We'll see you guys next time.